demon? What am I? It's time for me to choose my path. Power of my God hand, no evildoer will get past. Hand to hand or fist to fist, kick the nuts or twist your wrist. God power keeps my pimp hand strong, so trust me or you won't last very long. Dragon kick your ass into the Milky Way. Milky Way. Don't act like you don't like the Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, the summon of the powers of the God hand. I lost a limb in a fight, but don't worry, babe, I'll be cool. The ultimate power of a god is now my secret. My defenses are impregnable. My style is impetuous. If it's too much, I'll grovel at your feet. I beg for mercy when I feel the heat. Jaw-dropping attacks from my roulette wheel. Apocalyptic beatdowns from the God hand. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, I summon up the powers of the God hand. Everybody wants a piece. Who's next? Don't be a fool. Hyperactive fighting styles, so slick they will make you drool. The God hand helps me work out my stress. It's overpowering, I must confess. The only person who it doesn't work on is the girl who got me into this Olivia. Slicing through thugs with my shockwave. Shockwave! More beheadings than a guillotine. Head slicer. Head slicer! My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, I summon up the powers of the God hand!
Hello, everybody. I am your Immortal Afro, Josh. You're watching Immortal Afro Gaming for the Boys. I'm here with my good co-host, H3 of the Game. How you doing?
I'm good, man. A little tired, but, I'm here.
Yeah, man. At the last minute, I was like, Herb just now getting off of work. I wonder if he has time to stay up for another 3 hours.
I can do it.
We're going to try to go for 2. But, this is a bit of an impromptu stream to kind of follow up yesterday's live stream where I was playing an awesome roguelike game called Windblow. Definitely going to be playing that a lot. It's a ton of fun. But, I had some interesting conversations. Gaseous Clay, what's up, man? Speaking of which, I was talking with Gaseous Clay about a few things, and I figured we dive a little bit more deeper into the topics, such as what we're going to start with. FSR DLSS plus Unreal Engine 5 equals trash.
All
now,
right.
Herb, since you're a fairly new adopter of the master race, I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown on what this stuff is and what it's supposed to be for and what it's actually being used for.
All right.
So FSR DLSS, let's see, well, DLSS, it stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. And FSR is pretty much the same thing. It's the equivalent on AMD because, there's NVIDIA cards, AMD cards. You have a NVIDIA-based 2070 Super in your computer. Okay. I have a 6800 XT AMD card in my computer. And so these are like performance-enhancing things that make it to where older cars can play newer games without, struggling too much.
Okay.
So that's what it's an upscaler. How you take a game that's at 720p, but you upscale it to fit in a 1080p, resolution.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's like it makes it look decent without so much of a performance hit. The
Okay.
problem, because it sounds good, like what it's supposed to be for sounds good. It's like, oh man, if I don't have enough money to buy $1,000 graphics card, and I'm still rocking a 970 from 10 years ago. This is supposed to kind of help get that card, some more mileage out of it before you get the funds together to buy a new card. The problem is that now they're selling FSR and DLSS with these brand new cards that are thousands of dollars. Like the card that I want, the 7900 XTX, that's like AMD's current flagship, their beefy boy. It's like right now it's like $900, $1,000.
Oh Lord.
And certain games that are on the way out or just recently came out run like shit. And so now they're suggesting, hey, why don't you use FSR to upscale those games? And I'm like, the purpose of getting a card of this caliber is so that I have no compromises. I shouldn't be scaling on
Yeah, I was about to say, like, so you had to buy like something else to run something else. Is that what it is? You had to buy some extra?
No, you don't have to buy anything extra. Like the way it's supposed to work is that you get FSR DLSS for older cards. That's what it's really for. But because current games are so shittily optimized, for example, the recent Stalker 2 runs horrible on a lot of brand new gaming rigs. Dragon's Dogma 2 they have so many performance issues, and so they're trying to sell FSR and DLSS as a fix, even though the real problem is that a lot of these games rely on unoptimized engines, namely Unreal Engine 5. So Gator Milk, Super Supreme, welcome to the stream. But yeah, so what I was kind of like ranting on, I was talking to Gaseous in yesterday's live, was that I find it frustrating that a lot of these games are like, most new games aren't worth buying anymore because Capcom, their engine kind of has a similar issue. Yeah. They released a beta for Monster Hunter Wilds, and I wasn't, I'm not expecting it to run well, but it's the same engine they use for Dragon's Dogma, which took about a year of patching, more or less, for it to become worth a damn to like run properly on the highest end equipment.
Wow.
So if it's not running well on the highest end equipment, how much worse do you think it's going to run on somebody who's running a lower end machine? Yeah. Someone who's using, like, let's say a 2070 Super, for example. So, it's just I find it kind of disingenuous how, like, the way these cards are being sold, because NVIDIA is about to launch their brand new 50 series GPU, and they're supposed to be so powerful, so strong. Same thing with AMD. They're about to launch their 8000 series cards, and these cards have buttload amount of VRAM. They cost over $1,000, and they can't run modern games.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so I don't necessarily blame the card because, like I said, FSR DLSS, it's not a bad thing in and of itself, but modern day game optimization is so piss poor, and it's it's the same issue we had years ago where it's like, oh, we'll fix it later, we'll optimize it later, but we want to sell it right now and get your money.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Pushing out a bad product just to get your money. Hey, we'll fix it later. Sounds like what is it, patch culture?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing where it's like, we'll optimize it later. Like Gator Milk, the 1080 works fine. New cards are just as powerful, barely any more powerful, but they're also, and that's another thing, ray tracing. Ray tracing to me is gimmicky stuff for that's a technology made by NVIDIA. And ray tracing is essentially a fancy reflector gimmick. Like, if you look at your can you hear me?
You're coming in. I can hear you, but you're coming in kind of low.
What about the stream? Can you guys hear me all right? I'm using a different mic, so I don't know if it's switching up on y'all live. Let me check. Hello.
Yeah, it sound a lot. Yeah, it sound a little bit louder there.
Okay, I guess I got to speak a little. This is one of those omnidirectional mics. So
Yeah, I see you coming in a lot louder now. You're coming in a lot louder. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but I was saying like with the ray tracing, if if you look at your background, you can see how like on the table, you see how the light from the door window is on reflecting on the table.
Okay, yeah.
And the bowl on the table also has its own reflection on the table behind that light. That's basically what ray tracing is. It's like that throughout the entire game. The problem is that is a huge resource hog. It requires a lot of power to show all that fancy shit. Now, in stills, it looks amazing, but games run at a high frame rate. And pair that on top of a high frame rate gives you piss poor performance because the card is trying to generate all that shit while you're flying around, running around, doing whatever. Some games it's easier than others. Where, like, for example, a fighting game, those are often very well optimized because there's only ever 2 models on the screen at once.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of headroom. But for something like Spider-Man, where you have to swing throughout a fully rendered New York, you don't really notice a ray trace window flying through the middle of the city unless you stop and walk and just like, wow, so breathtaking.
Yeah.
Where you're not even being Spider-Man at that point. Billy Donuts, welcome to the stream. But yeah, ray tracing doesn't do anything that people notice while playing. And it's something that they're pushing. And because of it, a lot of these gaming developers, to me, in my opinion, they're wasting a lot of time and effort trying to get this gimmick to stick. And this isn't nothing new. Like NVIDIA and AMD have done this throughout the years. Like there was PhysX, and I think AMD has something similar. What was it called? I don't know, but they were trying to perform compete with this gimmicky stuff that was kind of unique to the cards. But ultimately, NVIDIA has the lion's share of the market, and AMD is like far behind in terms of like the market share in the graphics card division. But in my opinion, it's kind of pointless because rasterization, which is traditionally what games use, where they bake the lighting in, it's not like live scene. It's not live lighting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they bake it in to where it still looks good. It's like it's not bad by any means.
But it takes some extra work to do that. Place the lighting sources instead of just having the engine do it for you all over the game.
Yeah, but the advantage of that is that you build the world you want. It makes sense for, like, let's say the early Silent Hill games, because like everything is indoors anyway, so you could really get creative with that environment to make it more creepy instead of having like an engine just because, like, if you look at the old Silent Hill on PS2 and the new remake of the Silent Hill on the current consoles, and the new Silent Hill looks exactly like Resident Evil 2. It just looks real. Yeah. Whereas the old Silent Hill is really creepy because the hardware was limited back then, but it had that eerie feeling where it's just like it's so uncomfortable. You don't want to move too quickly because something might get you.
Yeah.
Unspoiled yesterday. Welcome to the stream, my brother. I'm doing good.
So, I guess just playing off what you said, basically these companies are being lazy.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Like, they're investing in technology that allows developers to be lazy. And like, and when it comes to the engines, I single out Unreal Engine specifically because that engine has been growing over the course of like the past 2 decades. Like, Unreal's been around for a long time. Like, Unreal Tournament on the Dreamcast. It's the same company, same engine. And now we're on Unreal Engine 5, and they have all this new stuff that's cool, but samey. Because if you look, I don't know, do you remember that Matrix?
Yeah, I do. It was so cool. I was like, man, it's almost like watching a movie.
Yeah, and like it's cool, but at the cost of, like, are we watching movies or are we playing video games?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's impressive, but it's like every game is starting to look like this now. That's why my interest in Monster Hunter Wilds is kind of like not there, because Wilds versus World looks like it was built. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, let's go get some photorealistic assets and just create a forest. Like,
Yeah.
they built the forest from the ground up, and now it's just like it looks like a generic forest. So,
Lord.
but you know, we had two great open world Spider-Man games when I was a kid: Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man back to back. Smaller budget, better games. Why do we need mega HD 4K ray tracing graphics? Exactly, we don't need them because the cost for them is so high that it doesn't matter what kind of system you get, because you'll never be able to run it,
Well,
properly.
well, you have some people out there that think that the better the game looks, the better the game is. Some people actually think that, like, okay, man, this game looks amazing, so it must be the best game out there. And I think
Yeah,
a lot of companies are just focusing on that. Let's make it really, really good instead of actually making a really good game. And that's what I think.
we call those people normies
Yeah.
because
I didn't want to
they don't
say
care.
that. I don't want to be politically
No,
incorrect.
no, like I honestly think, like, if
Yeah.
there's ever the time to call it what it is, it's now, because it's coming at too great of a cost to gamers, because like genuine gamers. Could you imagine if you couldn't run Tekken because it looks so good, but the game ran like shit, and you had to wait for patches, not for like balances, but just to make the game work?
Yeah.
It's like the thing we need to understand, because as we were coming up, graphics were very impressive, and we were all fooled by it because, like, man, it looks so real. Like, it was impressive. I don't want to downplay that, but now we've got to the point where we don't really need them to look any better. Like, once you hit photorealistic, that's pretty much the cap. You can't go past that unless you're making a movie game like Until Dawn or fucking, what's that other one by, what's the name, Dave something, but Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Like, those games can look as good as they are because they intentionally have removed heavy elements of gameplay, and that's fine. That's a genre that's cool. I like Heavy Rain, but that's its own category. Now it's being stretched across every game, and so now when I play a game like Windblown, I'm blown away because of how like, it's a game. I'm like, they crafted every aspect about this game that makes it more appreciative instead of just going the photorealistic route.
Hey, you guys kind of hyping up that Windblown, man. I might have to get on it.
You do, man. Like Windblown, Gunfire Reborn, Raven's Watch. Like, these games pull me back to 6th gen because they look like games that could have come out on 6th gen. They're all multiplayer, so I can play it with my bros. We all having a good time, and it's just like, that's gaming, instead of everything turning into this, super high fidelity, one track God of War movie, not a game.
Yeah.
It's like everything's over the shoulder camera, and there's like a heavy emphasis on story and narration. It's just like, God.
Well, the thing is, if they can focus on story and graphics, it's like they're trying to skip out on the gameplay. It's like, hey, let's make a good story. Well, a lot of it's not a good story, but they try to make a good story and they try to make it look good, and they hope that's what's going to draw people in. And then people start playing, and it's like, okay, well, this game sucks.
Yeah, and that's the case for a lot of people. Like, even though normies don't have any taste, they're not stupid. I dunk on them a lot, and for good reason. But like, even they kind of get a little, like, when things get too samey, that's when they start to taper off.
It takes a little while for them to see it, but eventually they'll start seeing it. Like, okay, well, there's something to this. It ain't right,
Yeah, it's not worth the investment, because all it's doing is making games more expensive, and once it gets to a point to where, like, the barrier for entry is cost when you don't see it up front. It's just like, I don't want to. That's what I was telling I was having a conversation with Tyrell. I was like, yeah, I can't wait for it to implode because the normies they're very unreliable. You can't build a solid base off of normies because they're like the river. They just flow wherever the most popular thing is. Just like when Marvel movies were, once they became popular, now everyone's a Marvel fan. And now that the Marvel movies suck, everyone's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
And the only people that were there before, during, and after were Marvel fans. And ironically, they were having the worst time the whole time. It's like, I'm not excited for a She-Hulk. What the hell are they doing to my character? What happened to this character? Oh my God.
She-Hulk. I watched all of that. And I was hoping and praying it would get good, but it didn't. Well, I'll say this. When she was being a superhero, it was good, but there was like hardly none of her being a superhero in that show at all.
Because it wasn't for a She-Hulk fan.
Yeah.
It was for women.
Well, it was for women and it was written by women. Written by women for women.
Which is why it was horrible. But Gator Milk, I do have RoboQuest. Like, I haven't played it because, like, when I got it, it was still in early access. But I think it's since had its 1.0 launch. So yeah, that's another game I'm gonna play with my friends. But it's another game.
I'm gonna have to look into that RoboQuest.
Yeah, because like me and Chris, when we talk about it, gaming is far from dead. You just have to kind of seek out true gaming that's made with passion instead of the stuff that dominates the charts all the time.
I swear to God, I've been having a time of my life on Steam. Like, I've been playing all these games with like no graphics, and it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah,
the best thing ever. I was like, how? Because recently I've been playing the Messenger. The Messenger is a cold game. I can't wait to beat that game. It's dope.
Yeah, and that's, to me, that's where gaming kind of needs to, true gaming needs to kind of stay. You know, it's not meant to be. It's not meant for mass appeal. You know, gaming back in its heyday, you know, when it was just us. It was just gamers playing. The bubble burst in 7th Gen when all of a sudden, you know, when Call of Duty showed up, and now it's like gaming is for everybody. It's like, well, we thought we wanted that, but learn that lesson the hard way.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened with what is it? Dragon Age. Was it the new Dragon Age game?
Yeah.
They tried to make a game that was for everybody, and it ended up being for nobody.
Yeah, because I was playing Dragon Age a few days ago because I didn't play it back in the day because I was really heavy into Street Fighter 4. But around that time, when I was hanging out with Cross, like I played more of Mass Effect. I played through Mass Effect, but I didn't quite get into Dragon Age. But now that I'm playing it, after I've always known about it, and I thought it was cool. I was just always taken over by Makoto. but now playing it after seeing Veilguard, and I'm like, on one hand, lucky I didn't fall in love with Dragon Age because I would be livid right now. But playing the original Dragon Age and like seeing how the characters acted, the tone, the setting, everything, and just looking at a few cutscenes of Veilguard, I'm just like,
like this night and day. It's not even the same. It feels like it's not even the same universe.
Yeah.
From what they did, like there's like I think people are saying that it's the Disneyfication of Dragon Age.
Yeah. Like Torchy. Yay, my hobby is now mainstream. Oh no, my hobby is now mainstream. That's exactly what happened because we thought this was going to be great until it wasn't. But you and the homies need to do a barv competition. It's barving time. Like, no. Like,
what the hell is barving time? You know what? Maybe I don't need to know. Maybe I don't need to know what a barv competition is.
Like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's do it, y'all. Let's show, because Herbert doesn't know about a lot of stuff. That's why I'm glad he's like a co-host. He's like the perfect guinea pig.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop.
Hold on. I'm gonna find just that cutscene, and I want to get your
Barf competition. It sounds so weird. I'm kind of scared of what I'm gonna see.
It's Barvin time, Herbert.
Oh God.
I don't want to see that again, man. Billy Donuts, avert your eyes. I have to show her. Let's see. Slides and PDF.
I hope it's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't warp my fragile little mind.
All right, here we go. Can you see it on the
screen? You know what? I've seen this. Go ahead and play it though. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Go. Yeah.
Thanks, nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand.
Let me switch the audio. It's coming out of my monitor. All right, can you still hear it?
Maker's panties. I was proud.
Oh,
shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barv.
Oh, okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barv.
It's so terrible.
Oh, there we go.
It's Barvin time, Herbert. Bro, you gotta pull a barv when you misgender me.
Was that in any other Dragon Age games?
I can't say if it was in 2 or in Inquisition. You have to ask Cross on that, or maybe Torchy would know. But I think this one was the one where it was like the most beat over your head. All right, Billy Donut said nope.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I guess that's exclusive to Veilguard.
That's so whack, bro. It's so whack.
Yeah, so that's pulling the bar.
It's like they couldn't have thought of any other type of resolution or some type of creative resolution than to just say, okay, well, let me do some push-ups.
No, because the thing about it, like the whole thing of wokeness, it's all theater. None of it's legitimate. None of it's genuine. It's all fake. It's all gay. It's nothing. And it will never be anything. And so when you see it like this on full display, even the normie would be like, because the game isn't doing that well. But I think it peaked on Steam at about 90,000 players, which is bad for a EA big budget multi-million-dollar release. So I think like Torchy, like, nope, just like non-binary, they inserted that garbage in so hard.
Yeah.
And you could choose, because Dragon Age Origins, the first one, was traditionally a Western style RPG where your choices actually affected the game's story and plot. You could be evil, you could be good, you could be in the middle of the road, and how you acted kind of determined how your peers would, receive you. You do something good, they'd be like, hey, good. But somebody on your team who's like more evil, it's like, that's fucking weak. You're weak, and vice versa. And depending on how you carry the game, they would either try to fight you, or you could kill them, or they'll leave on their own accord. It was very dynamic.
Yeah.
So, in the sense of when it comes to that, I was saying when I was talking to Gaseous Clay yesterday on my stream that games like this, since we know what they are, they don't deserve any type of recognition, not even worth buying. Like, seeing that is more than enough to just completely bypass this game. Because it's like I was saying, back in the day, there was good games and bad games. Bad games traditionally were just games that didn't play too well, or the effort put into them was really lackluster. The graphics were waste. The performance was middling. Story and characters were subpar. It was just bad. But this game is propaganda
Yeah.
shoved in your face bad. Because if you look at it on the surface, if you remove everything else, it looks pretty decent. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, the graphics look pretty good. Maybe the performance is up to snuff or whatever. But compared to Dragon Age 1, even though that game is dated as hell, it looks better because Dragon Age has a certain aesthetic.
Yeah.
So
100%.
He says the P word 1,000 bars.
But yeah, the Veilguard, man, is just like you said, a product of propaganda and like really bad writing. And something the gameplay is kind of bland too, but man, I hate that for Dragon Age fans, man, to where they have to. I hate in this day and age you have to watch your game slowly die some kind of way. It's like they'll bring whatever you love back, insert all of their propaganda into it, and it turns out to be something that it never was meant to be in the first place, which is terrible.
Yeah, which is why, just like Billy Donut says here, all of my knowledge of Belgard comes from watching other people play it on YouTube. Ain't buying the garbage.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of reviews on it, and it's terrible, man. It's really, really terrible.
Yeah, because I don't want woke games to be a staple. I want bad games to just be bad. Bad because whoever did it, maybe they were a little too presumptuous on certain decisions they made that they thought would make the game good as far as mechanically or presentation wise, but not this air of propaganda that completely undermines, especially when it's a game that had its own identity stolen from it, corrupted. Because Dragon Age, like that type of RPG, it's not even Dragon Age isn't even Dragon Age anymore. Like that mantle goes to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. I was watching Angry Joe's review of it, and he was making the same comparison. He was like, Baldur's Gate 3, you can make so many choices in it that like are so different, and kind of compared it to the old Dragon Age where like you would never be able to do that type of stuff in Veilguard, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like Gator Milk said, like Dragon Age Origins straight up had Darkspawn reproduced via rape so vile it turned a woman into a literal pile of holes and tits. New Dragon Age is some Pixar kiddie shit with woke DEI bullshit. And that's what the M in rated M for mature is supposed to stand for. I forget, somebody said it earlier, try to find it, but you could tell like this whole, the Disneyfication, the Marvel tier humor, and a lot of this stuff, that's why it's so samey, because the same people are writing it. It's like, if you make a game rated M, make it rated M. Earn that mature rating. Back in the day, when I had to really convince my dad to let me and my brother get Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It was rated M, but we couldn't get it because we were like 13 and 15 at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, well, I'm pretty confident that I've raised some competent young boys who can handle it. So, yeah, I'll get you a Mortal Kombat. And, of course, we showing him raiding, shoving his hands in someone's stomach and electrocuting them to death. And he was like, yeah, like, I probably should have did that, but that was pretty cool. So it's like stuff like that is supposed to, like, there are places for all types of games. Like gaming has always been extremely diverse because of this.
Yeah.
But it's just like now, I think I was talking to Cross about it a while ago. He's like, it's funny how like back when Mass Effect was first coming out, there was this lady who was complaining saying, oh, this game is just a sex simulator and it's just a guy running around having sex with all these women and using them for his own desire. And of course, people who play the game was like, this woman is an idiot. She didn't play the game. She probably saw or heard something and went on this whole tangent. And back then, Jeff Keighley, somebody we don't give a shit about now, but back then he defended the game, and he was like, "Did you play the game, ma'am?" No. Yeah, and it's like we made fun of her because like, yeah, this dumb bitch don't know what she's talking about. Fast forward, now games are exactly what she said. They're just this like because if you look at these characters in Dragon Age, they're all degenerates who talk about, oh yeah, I like you, I want to sex you up. They talk like Redditors who don't know how to like torture you. We'll bang, okay? So it's like it's funny how like
I was gonna say, well, that lady is now the person behind those games now.
Yeah, she really
that lady and people like her, like the people behind it.
Yeah, and, ironically.
Yeah.
So
it's terrible.
My dad didn't let me play Armageddon until I was 12 or 13. Yeah, I mean, it was around that time because, like, I played earlier games, but he didn't know that. But I don't think he cared because, you know, it's like, you know, parents actually parented back then. So he was confident in his own ability as a father to be like, oh, okay, they'll be all right.
See, my upbringing, I had a whole bunch of uncles that played all these games. So they had the games, so we had the games. So we just played them, and we played with them. So,
yeah, I'm gonna kind of segue into another part of this. The Act Man.
The Act Man.
Yeah, back again. So he recently released a video on Dragon Age Veilguard.
Oh my God!
It was good. It was a good video, and he covered all the bases. And it's just like, if I didn't know anything about this guy prior to this, I would think this guy was on top of it when it came to, you know, the real, you know, the stuff that matters in gaming. But because I have privileged knowledge, I look at this video and think this guy's full of shit. Because, you know, I'm sure you remember a while ago we covered Act Man versus Heel versus Babyface.
Mm-hmm.
And if I recall properly, he was just like, hey, yo, dude, you tripping over this pronoun stuff, right? As if he was in favor for pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age Veilguard is all about that pronoun shit.
Yeah.
And now he's criticizing it. And so
sound like some hypocrisy
of the highest order. And so I'm gonna show you this. All right, I'm gonna show you because my man Roland from Cult Games, who made the Great Rebellion, because he kind of called out Ackman on X, and I agreed with him. So hold on, let me find it, because it's one of those things where like it makes me very it's so frustrating. Okay, so share this tab. And let me pull it up here. Okay. So here's what not Hill versus Babyface, but here's what the Great Rebellion said. Oh, so now Ackman is getting in on it. Dude has perfected always going with the flow while somehow pretending to be edgy in the most conformist way possible, laughing my ass off. It's like I said, the video is good. He covers all the stuff that, you know, we would normally cover. And Grums, he's another guy who's kind of like who's spearheading the anti-DEI stuff. And he said, let him. Yes, it's a pansy move, but the more normies he brings over to the light, the better for gaming. It's safer. It is the better. Swing the middle, you lock in the win. Now,
that's kind of positive, I guess.
Well,
somewhat positive.
Here's the thing. I vehemently disagree with Grums. And I think I made my my stance on here quite clear. It's a bit of a read, but bear with me. So,
oh man, this is gonna put a 5-page essay on here. Let's see what the Immortal Afro has to say.
Okay, so I say I'm probably in the minority on this one, but hell no. These types aren't legit, and they are only switching sides when it's convenient. If or when there's another shift, they'll be back on their bullshit, and we will once again find ourselves looking like boo-boo the fool at the end. I completely understand wanting to pull who or what we can, but I'm not even going to imply, and I'm not going to imply that my view is the correct one. But in my opinion, normies hold no value when it comes to maintaining the sanctity of gaming. They have no standards or expectations. They only move when commanded to do so. We opened the door to our hobby. We opened the door, and our hobby got absolutely fucked 7 ways to Sunday as a result of. And what's our reward? A bunch of opportunists, commies, and multiple dead franchises. Gaming should be niche. Games made by people like the Great Rebellion highlight an importance of passion for their art, and they must be protected at all costs. We still have to rebuild everything from scratch. No way in hell I'm going to let trash like the Act Man slide back into the role without letting him know that he will never be trusted ever again. Call me an extremist if you want, but after seeing the absolute devastation wrought onto gaming since 2014, I'm gatekeeping like a motherfucker.
Okay.
So
I see. Now let me play devil's advocate here. So the normies, right? How can I say? Are the normies the problem, or is it the people pushing the agenda behind the games the problem? Because I feel like the normies are, in my opinion, they're caught in the middle between the people on the light who knows like what's going on and then the people who are pushing the propaganda. Can you really gatekeep the normies when like they don't really know what's going on? Can you really just gatekeep them like that?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can. And the reason why I say that, because being a normie is a choice. Because back in our day, there were no normies. There were gamers. When you saw something you liked it.
Yeah.
And you went for it. They're like the amount of people who were just like casual, because like there's a difference between a normie and a casual. Casuals don't really they have like a certain level of expectation when it comes to things they like. Because they like it enough to get into it and play it at this level. Normies go with the wind. Whatever's popular, here they come. Just like how when Marvel movies became the standard, then overnight everyone was a Marvel fan magically, when before Marvel fans were these neckbeard nobodies that people ignored, just like how we were nobodies back when we were gaming all the time. It's just like, normies outnumber us 10-1. And whenever something is heralded as the thing, they come running because they want to be involved in the thing. For gaming, it really happened with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Because when that game became the thing, all of a sudden, Xbox Live was just where it was at.
Yeah.
It was the place to be. Tekken 7. When you want to know what happened when the normie showed up, do you know when the normie showed up?
When they showed up, as far as Tekken,
yeah, because remember, Tekken has been like in its own corner all the way up until this one thing happened. You know what it is?
I would say a lot of people jumped on the Tekken 7 bandwagon.
Yeah,
but when?
Because remember, Tekken had a reputation of releasing the game a year before it came out. So for a whole year, Tekken 7 was around, but nobody was like, nobody was like digging it. Only the Tekken guys were into Tekken until this happened.
The only thing I can think of, man, is I know it has something to do with DLC.
No, Billy Donuts got it.
I don't know which DLC.
No, Billy Donuts got it.
Oh, Kuma?
Yes, Kuma.
I don't know. I don't know about.
I'm telling you 100%. Because remember, who was the guy that blew up Tekken when that happened?
The guy that blew up Tekken.
Yeah, when Akuma got announced, because this guy is the king of the fighting game normies.
I don't know.
Maximilian Dude.
Oh, okay.
Because like he's always been the Street Fighter guy. Like he's a good player, but you know, his appeal when it came to like as a content creator was he appealed to a lot of normies.
Yeah.
And when because like he never played Tekken, just like he never played Dead or Alive. He didn't play 3D fighters, he played 2D fighters, but Street Fighter amongst all of it. And as soon as Akuma showed up, he was like, I'm interested in Tekken. And then a wave of non-Tekken players, all of a sudden Tekken, the most popular fighting game out of nowhere. It's been popular forever, but it was popular because Tekken people liked it. But now that Akuma's here, it's okay. Tekken has become the new thing.
So I think that is true, but I also think that the Street Fighter players saw Akuma too and came over to Tekken.
Yeah, but it was heralded by Maximilian Dude. Because remember, we lived in harmony for the longest time. It was Tekken 6, Street Fighter 4. Hardly ever crossover. I was one of the few people that played both.
Well, you know, the people in Memphis, we played everything. So
yeah, but
a different breed.
Yeah, but Memphis was primarily Tekken, right? Like, you know, for our crowd, but it was still separate. Like there was like bleed over, but there wasn't anybody who was just like, I'm going to go play Street Fighter. Like, like for example, like, you know, Lil Majin plays Zangief really well, but he didn't play Street Fighter. He played Tekken. Same thing, like when I tried to get everybody to play Dead or Alive, it's like they played it for one day and then never again.
I think there was a hierarchy. There was like Tekken, and then there was like Street Fighter, Marvel, and then whatever else.
Yeah. And to me, that's the way it should be, you know? But ever since that fucking fireball bastard showed up in Tekken, the whole table just got table flip. And so now you had people who play, and of course it made sense from a financial perspective because hey, look at all these new numbers. And because of that, we got Tekken 8. Because of that bastard in Tekken 7, everybody got an FADC, everybody got a fireball, everybody got an instant on wake up, get off me move that's invulnerable to hit.
So I think that is a part of it, but I think that the competitive scene of Tekken is another reason why we got Tekken 8, because we had Arslan Ash and Nee and JDCR playing really defensive and not really engaging each other and kind of waiting for your opportunity to playing Tekken. They were playing Tekken.
Yeah, they played.
Right? So
Tekken has always been like that, though.
It's always been like that. But JDCR, like I said, Arslan Ash, arguably one of the greatest Tekken players ever, was backdashing with Zafina and Kunimitsu and using defense to beat people. And I think the development team saw that and they were like, okay, well, we want people to engage more. And they took what they saw, and then that's another piece of the puzzle and made Tekken 8 the way it was too.
And they did that because now they have this influx of new players who have different expectations, and their expectations are this is too hard.
Yeah, they can't deal with the defense of a high level Tekken player, so they kind of try to minimize the gap between the beginner players and the higher level players by making it more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you block too much, you take chip damage. Or if you block too much, you get your guard broken.
Yeah. You can see the go ahead.
Or if you're, Kazuya or King, your backdash is nerfed.
So, you can see the direct correlation of where an influx of normies has so much influence on a game's identity. And now Tekken 8 suffers greatly because of it, because normies don't stick around. Tekken fans stick around, but now Tekken fans aren't sticking around because
sticking around.
No, they won't, because like if you look at videos people like, all right, Arslan Ash, I respect his opinion because he's a Tekken player. Nee, I respect his opinion on Tekken. Same thing with Lil Majin, because these guys play Tekken, but there's a reason why I don't think Majin has said much. I just think he probably just hasn't been playing. But people like Nee and hey, I just said his name.
Arslan Ash.
Yeah, Arslan. The reason why they're starting to complain is because it's not because they can't adapt. The game is unadaptable.
Yeah,
because it appeals to the lowest common denominator. You have moves on here that eat moves for breakfast. Hitboxes are gargantuan. And what are you supposed to do? And now, after going on about a year, they're slowly changing it back, which it's too late now. Like, I've checked out. I don't care what they do to the game anymore.
When we first started talking about Tekken 8, I said, if you guys are gonna be crazy all the way. Don't be backtracking. You keep that same energy. And then when people started complaining, they backtracked
immediately.
And I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, I don't want to play this game. I really don't.
Because it's not fun. Because it's not Tekken anymore. It's Tekken R Us. Or people who never had the patience or willingness to get into Tekken proper. And now Tekken 8 is going to suffer. It's the biggest gains, and it's the fastest gains and the fastest losses at the same time. Because, like I said, normies are very unreliable. They don't stick to anything. They just show up because it's the thing. And since Akuma was there, the expectation is that the next game was going to be something crazy because Akuma was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I don't want to put too much blame on the normies, but they do have a place in some of the problems in gaming. I won't deny that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we all start out as normies, but depending, like, if you genuinely like something, you graduate from normie relatively quickly. Like, normies, like, for example, let's use you for example. You were a normie when it came to PC gaming, but there was never a doubt in my mind that you'd eventually come over because you talked about it too much. Like, the more you make fun of something, the more interested in it you are.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's gonna take him a while. You know, Herbert's an older gentleman, and
my PS4 is better than all this PC stuff.
Anyway, so like, when's the last time you turned it on?
Ooh, you know what? You know what's funny? What? I turn it on to watch stuff. I watch Crunchyroll and YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, ever since I sold you my other computer, you've been on that nonstop. I know it because, like, when you saw the power of the PC, I was like, hey, look, it's not difficult. You know, it's just requires a little bit more. And normies have a tendency to they don't have the they're just not willing. That's why me and Cross get so frustrated. Like, he gets more frustrated than me. But, you know, I kind of see the divide. And, like, he has very low tolerance for it because a lot of his favorite shit has gotten fucked over because, like, when a developer shifts focus to appease a group of people that were never there, even though when they like Tekken, like, we've been keeping Tekken alive for so long. I showed up at 6. I think you've been there since 2 or from the beginning.
I've been there. I played Tekken since like Tekken 1 in arcades. Not competitively. I didn't start playing competitively until like 6.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, people, like, once Tekken found its groove, which I think, like a lot of people say, it's Tekken 5. People really were locked in and dedicated to Tekken, and you could tell by the quality of the game and how long each game lasted. Yeah. Like, PlayStation 2 had 3 Tekkens. It was Tekken 4, 5, and 5DR. And PlayStation 3 had 2 Tekkens. Tekken 6, Tag 2. Now, Tekken 7 had 7 Tekken 7s because of the new way, and now it's the same for Tekken 8. It's like it's the inverse.
The season passes, which
Yeah,
we will get into later.
yeah, yeah. There's some information on that, but to kind of go back to the whole Ackman thing, it's like for me, like I said in the last video, I think he's being disingenuous. Trump won the election, so now there's a paradigm shift in what's socially acceptable.
I've
So
been
now,
seeing that, man. I've
yeah,
been seeing that. It's like the weirdest thing. It's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. Like certain things that people were scared to say under a certain regiment, like people are saying now.
yeah, because
I'm like, why weren't you guys saying this before? Like, why now? Like,
Yeah.
why are you switching up now? It's like just
because it's socially acceptable now, and that's where I say like consistency is like the most important aspect about looking at somebody for who they are. And when I look at the Act Man or Angry Joe, I'm just like, yeah, you guys own, like, I've been watching you for like a decade, so I've seen you shift. Back when it was Angry Joe, it was when Anita Sarkeesian showed up. That's when he flipped on us. I was like, yo, what are you talking about? She's obviously XYZ. Act Man, he starts, his opinions become a lot more middle of the road, even though in the past he said some crazy shit. But now it's convenient for like, well, now that everything is a little more left leaning socially, I gotta appease the whatever crowd. But I'm like, look, I understand, like, becoming a little more mature and tightening up certain aspects of your speech so that you don't come off as crass for the sake of being crass. But that doesn't change when you're reacting to elements of culture that are being circumvented.
Yeah.
That's different. Companies are doing the same shit. They realize there's money in it now.
It's so crazy, man. It's like the whole world or the whole like United States the whole mindset just shifted overnight.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say what it is. After the elections, the whole mindset of the country just shifted. And it's like the weirdest thing I've like ever seen. I don't understand it.
Yeah, because when you think back to the previous elections, the same thing happened. Like when Obama got elected, there was a shift then where everyone became a little bit more anti-racist sensitive because now we got a black president. And then when Trump won in 2016, like the great meme war, where all the spicy memes were being tossed around, but the establishment was like, we're fighting back against this. If you post that stupid frog, you're a Nazi. It's like, oh, hold on now. Pepe didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, the council culture was super, super high.
It ramped up like crazy. And now that the shift has like occurred for, in favor for Trump overwhelmingly because, the left overplayed their hand. They got a little too close to the gay son. Like, so now it's becoming socially acceptable to shit on the wokies.
Yeah, it's like people are actually speaking up and saying, oh, well, we don't want this. And kind of like what somebody was saying, companies are now starting to change their tunes. I watched something earlier today. I think I was watching Aspen Gold and he was watching a video about J.K. Rowling. Is that her name? The lady behind Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Well, I know she got some flack for saying some things about the trans community and things like that. And, they were kind of throwing her under the bus a little bit. But now, fast forward, now they're like, well, she has her own opinions and she can have her own opinions about this and that. I'm like, but y'all were saying that a while ago.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And here's my thing, because like I remember who a lot of these people are, and I'm like, I'll never forgive you because you were, when it was okay to shit on people on our end, you had no problem doing it. You were canceling us, you were deplatforming us, you were cursing us to the shadow realm, and laughed about it and was happy about it and
a lot of people.
Celebrating it. And that was Act Man. He's one of those people. That's why when I say like fuck this guy, you're inconsistent. Hey, look, if you're trying to get your money, I get that. But don't think that means you're worthy of respect, because you were on this train full stop when you jumped down heel versus babyface throat.
Yeah.
You were all up his ass about it.
So you were saying he was pretty much making this stuff seem like it's not a big deal. And now he's like switching up, basically.
Yeah, he was pro pronouns when Asmongold was complaining about it in Starfield. But now that it's acceptable to dunk on in Velgard, he's like, yeah, man, this stuff is messed up. Matter of fact, I'll show you.
Oh, man.
Just like, because he has
the receipts.
Yeah, because it's like, he got like, all right, his video is like 30 minutes long, but we're going to look at the segment where he talks about social issues. Like,
this is interesting. I'm glad I came. I'm glad I woke up today. Came on the show.
Yeah, man, because it's like it frustrates the hell out of me, dude. Because it's like people think this is why I disagree with Grums. Grums is like, hey man, let it slide. It's cool. We're winning. I'm like, no, we're not. You don't want these people on your team. But all right, so this is a segment. Blah 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 blah. And the segment is called Social Issues.
So to recap, Veilguard comes across like it's trying to be a hero shooter or a Marvel movie.
Not a great plan.
The art style and tone of the series has been butchered to be as PG as possible. BioWare failed to reconnect me with this universe by throwing me into the heat of things without any buildup or context. They've simplified and removed pretty much all RPG mechanics. I don't like any of the companions I met so far, and my ability to play a role in this game has been completely severed. Even though I didn't play Veilguard much, I don't need to. The game failed to immerse me from the start, and I never felt like I could imprint myself on the protagonist. That's why I play RPGs, to play a role. Now, I want to briefly touch on tackling social issues in your fantasy RPG universe. Dragon Age has never shied away from showing race relations, racism, or including characters with mental disabilities. You meet an autistic savant dwarf who's really good with enchantment, but the game doesn't tell you he's autistic. In Veilguard, one of your companions, Tosh, just straight up says, "So, I'm non-binary."
So, I'm non-binary. What does that mean?
One of the most essential parts of storytelling or driving home a message is that you give the audience some agency to figure out what that message is on their own.
You can't treat your audience like you're stupid.
To read between the lines of that which is unsaid. The more explicit and direct you make a message, the less an audience is going to be receptive to it because they feel like they're being preached to.
Why are you here?
I beg your pardon?
Women are artisans or merchants or farmers, though you don't seem particularly earthy. They have no place in war.
I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with that idea. Do the Kunari have no female mages? No female warriors?
Of course not. Why would our women wish to be men?
Do you believe I wish to be a man?
You cannot be a man. That will lead you only to frustration.
You need subtlety and nuance, and having a character start doing push-ups because they misgendered someone is not subtle or nuanced. It's like you can feel the self-righteous wrath the writers fantasize about inflicting on people who commit such a heinous crime.
People like you! People like you! So, like, because like I said, all right, the video, it's a good video. It's 30 minutes covering a lot of the aspects about the old Dragon Age in comparison to the new Dragon Age. But it all falls apart when it's just like you were the guy who was all gung-ho about this shit a few months ago when it came to Starfield. And it's just like, I can't trust you. You're unreliable. You're very inconsistent. What you don't move. Your actions don't match your words.
Yeah.
And so it's just like with Angry Joe's, the same issue way back when Anita Sarkeesian showed up, where it's like, you don't have to be a you don't have to have Superman's supervision to see when something's off. You just need simple pattern recognition. Who is this person? Where did she come from? Is she really about what she is? Listen to what she's saying. Does it make sense? No, 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 and no. Why are we defending her? Because it's socially acceptable to fit. The women are always the victim. Me too. Me too. If you're not pro Me Too, you're a villain, even if you're right. So it's like, yeah. So that's why Ackman, he's an opportunist, and I'm like, get your money, dude. Like I get it, but the respect doesn't come with that. That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the hypocrisy is on level 10 there, man.
Yeah, because
Level
like
10.
they'll shit on somebody like Synthetic Man. Synthetic Man is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's very consistent and he doesn't hide it. Like he's just like, yeah, man, my expectations for certain games are this. I liked games when they were good at this point, but I'm a noticer when things started to shift for no discernible reason. And our hobby was encroached upon by these people. I know who I saw it happen. I could see it because I actually care about games versus just being la-di-da, I'm a normie. I don't notice anything when anything happens. Like I run around with my eyes closed. But when it's a social issue, I'm right there on the right side of history. It's like, nah.
You're terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But yeah, that's my soapbox rant. I think I'm done. I said all I've needed to say for now.
Yeah.
So,
well, I kind of want to see what happens with this Ackman.
Well, I think you can probably predict it. He's gonna act as if it's not what it seems. Like, oh, he was misunderstood, or it's no big deal. Because if you look at it on his timeline where he put up the video, there's a mix of reactions. Some people are like, how could you judge the whole game when you only played it for so many hours? This is like a 70-hour game, dude. And it's funny because what he's saying, I agree with. I'm like, you don't have to. First of all, you don't even have to buy this game, like to know that it's trash. Because, like I said in my live stream yesterday, there's a difference between a bad game and a progressive propaganda game. We didn't have this is a new category, progressive propaganda bullshit. This didn't exist back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And if it did, they did a damn good job hiding it. because some people will say, well, oh, Final Fantasy X is about a bunch of, tree huggers trying to stop the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you can infer that. But you know what I was focused on? The guy with the big ass sword. And the world was in danger, the world of Midgar. See, like,
it was cool and it was fun.
Yeah,
and some people like the story too.
Yeah, because my thing is like there was a way that you could share a political message without coming off pretentious. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Iron Giant. The director of that movie is anti-gun. And his way of sharing that message was like having an Iron Giant represent the gun. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Amazing movie. Made me cry. And so in the movie, they even say it directly, but it's all contained in that world. It's not like Hogarth turned to the screen, guns are bad, and if you shoot them, you're a bad person. No, he was like, yo, Giant, you don't have to be a gun. Like, it was traumatizing because he was a gun, despite, he hit his head, he didn't remember, but after developing a friendship with these people, he was like, I don't want to be a gun. Like, yeah, you have the choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yeah, Billy Donuts, dude, Iron Giant was my childhood for sure.
Yeah, it's like you can, on the lines of what you were saying, like it's like you can do anything you want to do if you write it right and it's portrayed right. So I agree with that.
Because like storytelling, like the message has gotten so stupid that now it's pretentious. Like,
Yeah.
let me pull a barb. It's like you could have wrote that in a way that was like a little more
Yeah.
rational,
It's like
reasonable.
the message is too direct.
Yeah,
Like
now it
I'm,
is looking at the camera.
I'm non-binary. Like, okay.
I am not.
Where did that come from? Like it's like where like I can't remember who was saying it, but it might have been Angry Joe or somebody, but they were saying that they could have oh no, like we were just saying, like with that guy's video, they had an autistic guy in the game, but they didn't have to say that he was autistic. It was just he was there. You could figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
They want to do like some non-binary stuff, at least work it into the story to where it makes sense and it's not direct or preaching to your audience.
Yeah, because like something like that would be something that somebody would be like confused about if, like, just like her mom's like, what does that mean? Like, you're just throwing this at me and expect me to like react as if it's normal or natural.
Yeah,
like,
there's a clever way that they could have did that in that world and not make it seem, not use modern day vocabulary to communicate things. Use things that's in the world. Use things that's in the story. Don't just okay. I'm non-binary. It's like okay, why? Where did this come from? Is it a part of the world? Is it a part of the story?
yeah, does this make sense in
does it make sense in the game, in the world that you're trying to build? And I think that's what they don't get. It's like they just want they want to preach their message so bad that they just want to put it in any kind of way that they can, whether it's bad. Well, it is bad in the worst way, and they're not communicating it properly in the best way for the story.
And it's even worse when it's like a hijacked series or a hijacked franchise, because Dragon Age is like when the origins kind of solidified what the world of Dragon Age is. This would have made more sense in its own separate game. You could have had a race of people who weren't, under like humans didn't know about that were technically non-binary.
And see, that's the thing. Like you just came up with a better story than what they did in Dragon Age, the Veilguard. It's like put some effort into it. Come on, man.
Yeah, because you spend so much. They're so focused on spreading the message that they don't care what they destroy as long as they get it to you and you capitulate. It's just like Billy Donuts. The world is ending. Let's take a detour so Tosh can understand what her gender is. It's like this is such a non-issue. If the world is ending, I don't give a fuck what you are. Like the world is ending. But then again, this is a Disney movie, so I guess there are no stakes. So
yeah, it's like, or they could have like had two Toshes. Hey, this is one Tosh over here and another Tosh over here, made by evil one, and then merge together to become they. Whatever that is, it would make sense.
Like Dr. Fate, don't he like merge with certain heroes to where they make like a different personality entirely?
I don't know. I think that there might be so. Like Venom. Venom is
we are Venom.
We are Venom. Hey, it's they.
Venom
makes sense, man.
And Venom, he's the gender of whoever he takes over.
Yeah.
So it's like
make it make sense. This it's like, man, we need to get some better writers in these studios, man.
No, I still hold that there just needs to be a complete. I want the destruction of gaming to occur so that the people who are left are the ones who genuinely care. The normies need to like have their feel, leave. There's nothing left for them, because once it becomes inconvenient to be a gamer, then they'll leave.
Yeah.
Because right now, like the AAA sphere is what's keeping them around, because what's the next big thing? They were trying to set up Dragon Age to be the next big thing because it has the legacy of the other Dragon Age games that no normie knows about. They just like, oh, this game is popular. Oh, it's the fourth game in the franchise. I like Dragon Age. I'm a Dragon Age fan now. It's like, did you play the other ones?
Yeah.
Nope. So
And see, that makes me wonder because, like we've been talking about, like I've been on Steam, just going down the Steam rabbit hole, looking at everything, right?
mhm.
And when you look at the descriptions for a lot of the games, they tell you whether it's LGBT or whatever, like out the gate.
Yeah.
Even in some of the descriptions, they tell you what it is. Hey, this is what it's going to be. And in some games, they be like, okay, well, was it Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
You know, they give you the option to do either or, whatever you want to do. If you like this stuff, it's there for you. But if you don't, you ain't got to do it. You know, it's like some indie games. A lot of indie games give you that choice. But the AAA games, it's like you have no choice. It's like you gotta take whatever bullshit they give you and hope you like it. But you know, I don't really see that. Do you see that in indie games where like they how can I say force stuff on you?
It depends. Like this is where I say you kind of have to develop the. If you care enough, you'll develop the eyes. You know, because like the thing is, me and Cross, we call it having the eyes, where you're able to look at something and you do enough research and information to figure out is this a good thing or a bad thing. Now there are some indie games that are woke trash because like that's what they were built upon. But
Well, go ahead.
yeah, like you know, I'll use an example like Baldur's Gate 3. Even though that game has a lot of things you would think I would straight up disagree with, like LGBT, it's like I don't have a problem with anything gay as long as it's not being forced upon me. Mass Effect 3 had a gay character, but he didn't run around and seek me out while I'm doing my thing. He's like, Mr. Shepard, I'm gay. Commander Shepard, I'm a flaming homosexual. And I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to like stop these Reapers, bro. That didn't happen. They didn't have to tell you. And again, the game gave you choice. You could be a male or a female. You can romance this character, that character, that character, this character, whether same sex, same species, different species. It was choice. Baldur's Gate does that well too. Choice. Yeah, it's a little creepy here and there, but again, it fits in the world of Baldur's Gate. It's not unusual. It is unusual in Dragon Age.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, like you can make a game where all that stuff works. But, you know, when it's like, you know, bash you across the head, that's when it's just like, all right, man. Look,
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill dragons. Why are you trying to suck my dick? like it's just priorities. So
I feel like the indie games do a better job of telling you what you're getting into. It's like if you want to make a woke game or whatever, you know, tell people up front what it is. You know, it just seems like a lot of AAA games, they don't want to tell you what the game actually is or what it is, what it's actually about, because they try to appeal to like a wider audience and push that agenda to a wider audience. Where indie games, it seems like, okay, this is what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, because like they don't want you to have choice. They want you to accept it. Like, accept us. We're normal. And it's like, no, you're not. Because like, again, do whatever you want. The less I know, the better. You know, I don't want to stand against you until you make it an issue for me personally. And for me, in gaming, now it is personal. I want you gone because you've destroyed like I said in the post, like so many games, franchises have died because of you, because you wanted to do things your way. And gaming has been this healthy medium for so long, untouched, until you showed up and saw an opportunity to corral the masses. And it worked. You succeeded.
Like, they succeeded. They lost money and ruined franchises, and it's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah, that's why I don't have any sympathy for normies. I don't have any sympathy for bad actors, opportunists like the Act Man, because, like, look, passion for gaming doesn't just stem from you play games all the time. Like, if I were to ask you about a very specific memory that is like it hits you hard, it's something that you don't really share because it's like only you would get it. You know, me and Cross talk about it a lot where it's just like, yeah, we're like gaming for us is like it's such a big deal. A normal person wouldn't understand. So we don't feel the need to share it because it's like, look, this you know, when of course, you know, we're friends. So when I talk about certain things, you have a specific reaction because you know it's true. When I talk about Ayane, you're like, this guy been talking about Ayane for 15 fucking years. It's never gonna change. But you know that. But if I was to explain how I feel about my favorite character in this game 20 years ago to someone else, they'd be like, dude, it's just a video game. You do know they're not real women, right? It's like, I can't talk to you. It's like,
so some people just don't understand that games are more than just games. Games bring family members together. It brings friends together. I've met so many people going to tournaments that are really cool people. Gaming has gotten me through a lot of social situations. It's gotten me through depressing situations. So gaming is more than just pixels and, you know,
mashing buttons.
It brings people together, and there's a certain amount of love that we have for it that just some people just don't understand.
It often gets neglected.
It's deeper than just, okay, this is a game.
And it frustrates me when people from the outside that never bothered to try to understand magically show up and act like they've been here all along. It's like, no, I would have known. There would have been certain attributes about your personality that I would have been able to pick up on because we could relate to it. But you don't have that. You know, not you, but like somebody who's like outside coming in. You know, and Billy Donut's like perfect. Stated perfectly. Every game wasn't for everybody, but everybody had a game. Now the biggest budget games are for nobody.
Yeah, and man, that is so true. You know, you like we were just saying. You know, you had your Tekken crew over here, you had your Street Fighter crew over here, and hey, Street Fighter sucks. Hey, Tekken sucks. And then one day we decide to play Street Fighter and they decide to play Tekken. It's like everybody had their games, and you know, you just play what you love. So that is true.
That was a beautiful memory for me.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
I almost OCB'd the whole team. And it's like that stuff you don't get from like other stuff, and it's just like, and I'm not trying to say I don't want to go over there to your thing and, you know, talk about it because like I don't know nothing about it. I'm cool where I'm at. I'm eating so good, but now that everything is trash, people have no choice but to leave. Just like with PC gaming, it's like, you know, Gaseous Clay. He understands. It's why I'm on Linux now, because back in the day, people understood like there were consoles and there was PC. Then Windows was like, we need more normies over here, so let's dumb down Windows. And I'm like, I can't stand Windows. I got to get out of here because too many people who don't know shit are here and they are actively changing it for these people. I got to go.
Change it for me.
Well, you don't even count her because it took you forever to get.
Somebody had to get me a PC.
Yeah.
Cross.
but like, yeah, but still, like, but it was a good barrier for entry because, like, despite your, you know, complaining, you still did it. You're still doing it.
Here I am.
Yeah. So it's like there's a process, and you can get there. But the thing is, it's that, you know, back then people knew where they belonged. So I don't blame you for why Microsoft is fucking up Windows. It's not your fault because you're not the you're not even a part of the demographic. because they could dumb it down even more, and you won't even notice. You're like, it would probably hurt you more than it would have if you got into it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I think oversimplification ironically makes things more difficult for people that are already competent. Because it's just
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, like Windows 8. I was like, what the fuck? What is this tablet shit? Like, I don't want a tablet. I want a computer. Like, I'm gonna stay on Windows 7. And then they hit me with it. Well, we're gonna lock DirectX 12 to Windows 10. I hate you so fucking much. I hate you so much.
If you're not gonna move, we're gonna force you to move.
Yeah, and then I moved to Linux. Where now I run all that shit through a compatibility layer and tell them to go fuck themselves. But, you know, everyone has a story. But yeah, dude, that like I really think, you know, for me, there's now that the shift is happening, I genuinely think there needs to be a push for for gatekeeping. Because now a lot of people who are giving us shit for the past 10 years are going to act like they have that they're going to be allowed to come over here as if, hey man, so we're cool now, right? Like, nah, dude, go fuck yourself. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying everybody should do what I say, but you know, but we can segue into our next topic, one I think you are have handy.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So Steam, they're changing their DLC policies. Can you show my screen?
Yeah.
Let me know when you have it up.
Yeah, it's up.
All right. So Steam has changed its policies on DLC content and season passes. So now players are entitled to proper compensation if future plans fall through. Customers will be offered a refund for the value of unreleased DLC. All right, so let's get into this.
Based Steam wins again.
Man, like so this stuff here, this whole topic makes me proud to be on PC.
What? But
it makes me proud to be on PC. This is so good here.
But the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it might have to get left behind with this. There's been a significant change as to how Steam require games to advertise expansion packs or DLC on the platform. The new guidelines clearly spell out what can be classified as new extra content and how publishers and developers can handle this future content to ensure that it actually benefits customers. That is so great.
Yep.
By offering a season pass, you are promising future content, the guidelines say. In the process of launching a season pass, you'll be asked to commit to a launch time for each content released in the season pass. That launch timing is a commitment to both customers and Steam. If you aren't ready to clearly communicate about the content included in each DLC, and when each DLC will be ready for launch, you should not. I love this line. You shouldn't offer a season pass on Steam. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So most of us, we're gamers, so we kind of know what this is. But for the most part, let's take Tekken 8. So Tekken 8 will offer a season pass promising content in the future, right? So they'll say, okay, well, yeah, you'll get content, but everything's a mystery.
Yep.
4 characters, and they're all mystery characters. You don't know what you're paying for at all. So you're pretty much taking them with good faith that they're gonna give you something good, right? So you're paying for something you don't even know what it is. And what Steam is doing, they're saying, hey, if you come out with a season pass, you need to clearly communicate what's going to be in it and when. That is such a win. That is such a win.
And I think a good example of like that would be Street Fighter, because they released their season pass, and we know what's coming. I think it's like
Exactly.
Mai and uh, somebody else, but you know,
Elena, I think. Elena, I can't remember. I know it was Terry, Elena, I think there might have been someone else.
yeah, but you know, but they showed who it was, and I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty interesting because I think who is it? Not Jim Croft. He's a Rufamonger. He was talking about how it's like it's not really a double-edged sword, but he said he would prefer that we know what all the stuff is instead of this drip feed format where it's a mystery only for people to be disappointed, because I'm sure Steam is getting bombarded with a bunch of people asking for refunds because they didn't get what they wanted or it wasn't what they thought it was. And so now their way of addressing it is like, look, we tired of people complaining at us about your product. So this is what we're going to do. If next time you do DLC, you're just going to have to communicate openly or just don't operate on our platform.
Yeah, and bro, I'm so tired of that format where like you pay for a pass and you don't know what the hell you're getting. With Tekken 8, shit, we got recycled DLC
Yeah.
with Lydia, right?
All 4 characters, or the first 3.
Yeah, the first 3 recycled fucking characters. And Heihachi, he been free since Tekken 1.
Yep, but now we got to pay for him.
Hey, and listen, he died in Tekken 5 and came back for free.
Yeah.
In Tekken 8, no, Tekken 7, he died. He came back in Tekken 8. You got to pay for him now. Boy,
Yeah.
I hate this era.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I kind of go back to normies, because normies don't know any better. Normies weren't there when Tekken was for Tekken, and we got everything we wanted off the rip. The only new characters we got were actual new characters: DR, Raven, Lily. Tekken 6, Elisa, Lars, Miguel, Leo.
Oh,
Bob.
we got Dragunov too in Tekken 5 DR.
Yeah, and Dragunov. Yeah, so every new game we got no season. This is before the era of season passes. We got nothing but new characters in the following game. And when there was a game with returning characters, it was a game like Tekken Tag 2, where it was like, yeah, that's fine. Oh man, we got Angel back, or we got Unknown back. And you know, it's a non-canon game, and we're not going to see these characters in every Tekken because, you know, they're either dead or MIA. Yeah. So it's fine. We accepted that. All the Tekken people understood that. But now that we have this new influx of normies, they'll buy stuff from the Tekken shop. They'll buy legacy costumes. They'll buy the same character that's been in the game for 10, 20 years. It's like, and that's why, like, when it comes to Tekken, I'm like ripping my hair out, because it's like, this game is ass. Not because it just plays like shit, because it is shit.
Yeah.
Like a good portion of development went to this stupid Tekken shop. And when you boot up the game, it's the first fucking thing you see. Spend money at the Tekken shop. New items available at the Tekken shop. And I'm just like,
it's very terrible, terrible.
And it's Normie's fault. It's like, it's you. They're appealing to you. They said, fuck us. We've been carrying this franchise for 30 years. And now it's just like, well, you guys didn't give us enough money. That's why the rules are different now.
Yeah. But I cannot argue with that. But back to this article. One important thing, too, says to protect players further, Steam has also outlined the refund policy that games will have to adhere to if plans for the DLC or expansion end up falling through. We understand that game development doesn't always go as planned. If you think you aren't going to be able to release DLC into the season pass by the quarter you promised, we will allow you to self-reschedule the release date one time only during the season pass. You can pick a new date up to 3 months later than you originally selected. If you cancel a DLC in a season pass, customers, I love this line, customers will be offered a refund for the value of unreleased DLC. So if these companies don't do what they say they're going to do, hey, we can get our money back.
Yeah,
Straight up.
prosumer.
Straight up. And like you said, this is something that protects players, and it's honestly something that should have been in place a long time ago. And I was watching Asmund Gold's video the other day, and he was saying that some of this stuff should be actual law, like government law that protects players from this type of practice. Now, is that something you agree with?
Yeah, because like consumer rights is a thing, but because the advent of the internet happened so fast and law stuff moves so slowly, they've been allowed to run away unregulated for pretty much over a decade, like
Yeah.
15 years plus at this point, ever since
Yeah.
the first DLC for Grand Theft Auto 4 dropped. And, you know, of course, we didn't really think much of it. But then the whole loot box thing, we needed legislation on that because that's technically gambling. And a lot of children play video games, and
Yeah.
children are supposed to gamble. Because, like, you know, normally I'm not for government intervention when it comes to stuff like this, but there's no way to hold these these companies accountable because, again, normies just buy shit. And it's like, it's frustrating. Like, none of this will be an issue if gaming stayed niche. But because the bubble bursted and all eyes are on us now, and it sucks because we suffer at every waking, like our games suck, the DLC practices suck, there's anti-consumer sentiment, and the games suck. And then now all this attention is on us, and we're the last one. Even though we were here from the beginning, we're the last ones to get any representation.
Yeah.
For what we think should be done. No one's going to listen to us. So now we're going to get this out of touch lawmaker who doesn't know shit about video games.
Yeah.
To make some blanket shit that's going to fuck it up for everybody. It's just like.
Yeah. That's kind of what Asmund was saying. Lawmakers are behind and out of touch with gaming in general because they're all old and don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But this here, man, I love seeing this because when DLC comes out, me personally, I feel like I'm at the mercy of the developer. It's like you want to play the game, you want the pass, but you just have to take them at good faith that something good is going to come out of whatever they're trying to do. And I'm tired of that. So I'm ready for them to state what the hell is going to be in these passes from now on. Like, I don't want to see no silhouettes. I don't want to have to guess.
Who's that Tekken player?
Who's that Tekken player? I don't want to see no question marks. I don't want to see no question marks. I want to see exactly what I'm getting. I want to see what characters, what map, what music. Because we had the little fiasco where people bought the Super Deluxe Ultra Edition of Tekken 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Heihachi came out with that stage. And the stage wasn't even included in the DLC. And people didn't know.
Even though Lydia came with a stage.
Yeah,
which
Lydia
kind of set them up.
Yeah, Lydia came with a stage, but Heihachi didn't. And that's the reason why this is so good. So they can clearly state what is in this DLC and what isn't. Because that pissed a lot of people off. Yeah. So much so, I think Harada had to come out with an apology for that type of practice.
Yeah, I was hearing this tap dancing shoes. And I don't blame Harada. I think this is all from the higher ups at Bandai. Because Harada, I still genuinely believe Harada didn't want to sell Tekken this way, but his hands are tied. Because like he's always been one of the most outspoken game developers ever. And way back in Tekken Tag, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm not down with the whole season pass thing," because Street Fighter was doing it.
Yeah,
it wasn't called a season pass back then, but they were re-releasing the same game over and over. Yeah. And he was just like, "No, if I make the game good the first time, then we're good. I don't have to." Because Tekken games lasted damn near 10 years. We only got 2 for every console, and the console lasted about 10 years. So it's like, that's a good game to be going that strong for that long. Now Tekken 8 can't go a few months without being touched. So it's like, I don't know, man. And then shout outs to Steam for being the leader of pro consumer gaming, because like I would prefer them to head the the charge on making changes instead of getting the law involved, because Gabe understands Steam, they get it. I don't want the law to get involved. I'd rather, because since Steam is like the king of the castle, when they push for something, others tend to follow. Just like with the whole fiasco with Cyberpunk 2077, because I think for years Steam had a refund policy, but PlayStation and Xbox didn't. And it wasn't until Cyberpunk was so horrible that they kind of had to put something together so that people could stop complaining. I'm like, see, if you guys were worth a damn like Steam, because Steam addressed this years ago.
Yeah.
PC gaming for the win.
Now I wonder, is this going to translate or transfer over to the PS4, or is it going to transfer to the Xbox or the Switch? Do you think they're going to change their policies to kind of fall in line with what Steam is doing here?
It's possible, but I think I say it's possible more so. I think it could be because Steam is in such a much stronger position now. People have to acknowledge Steam. Back in the past, when PC was just over here, they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't need PC. PC is whatever." Then the console started sucking like ass, and then so they started putting everything on Steam because that's where the money was.
Yeah,
and, and it's like, yeah, good for Steam. Steam gets money, but here come the normies. Especially Harada defended the DEI bullshit Bamco is showcasing to the world. Yeah, you got new Harada, modern day Harada, because like Tekken's out of his hands now. Back in the day, Harada was talking mad shit. He didn't care. Just like his frenemy, Tomonobu Edagaki. They used to be the best villain. They hated each other, but they respected each other.
Yeah.
And then Tomonobu got shit canned by a gay ass Tecmo. Whatever. I ain't going. We'll save that for another live. But
so
yeah.
One more thing. Well, I guess you can read that comment. Really cool.
Yeah. Shame really whoever told Bamco to bet hundreds of millions on the unknown number 9 to number 45's a large soda deserves to get unpersoned. I agree. Because a lot of these, since the whole woke thing happened, almost every company has been affected. Hell, Sony's about to buy Kurokara, so the Souls franchise is dead. It's over. So, that sucks.
Yeah, we'll have to say that topic for another day too.
Oof.
I'm kind of scared on that if that happens.
Yeah, don't be scared. It's going to. If that deal goes through, it's over. So if you already have Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Sekiro, Elden Ring, enjoy it, because that's the last good games that company's going to make. Sekiro 2 is going to be ran by a black woman. She's going to be a black DEI samurai named, what's that motherfucker, Yasuke? No, it's over. GG.
Yeah. So one thing Asman was saying, he was saying it might be a problem for Valve or Steam to hold that much power to where they can just say this, and this, and if you don't comply, then okay, well, we're gonna do this X, Y, and Z. Do you think it's too much power for them to actually be able to do stuff like this? Actually change? Don't get me wrong, this is good. But do you think it's too much power for them to have that to where they can say, well, we want things to be this way. If you don't do it, all right, we're gonna fine you or kick you off, or you got penalties or whatever. Because this changes the whole entire gaming landscape. They have the power to do that. Do you think there's just too much power?
Nope, because they're only talking about Steam. If you want to sell your games on Steam, that's your choice. Like, for example, like Xbox, it's like, look, if you made a console that wasn't dog shit, then you could sell it on your own console. But the only reason you guys are coming over here is because you don't have a leg to stand on your own. Nintendo doesn't have this problem. Like, Nintendo doesn't have to rely on PC to sell Mario or Luigi or Metroid. Their games are going to sell because Nintendo is a competent platform. Sony games coming to PC is bad for Sony. They need money because no one's buying PlayStations. Microsoft has to sell games on Steam because no one's buying Xboxes because they don't know how to sell consoles anymore. So I don't care. Like, I hope, and the thing, you notice the wording that Steam used. They're like, yeah, this is for our platform. If you don't like it, leave. We're not telling you what to do. We're telling you how our platform operates. And if you're going to come over here, these are the rules.
Yeah.
You have the choice to leave. No one's forcing you to do anything. This is like, because they still have their own platforms. The Xbox store still exists. PlayStation store still exists.
Well, the thing is, like, if these companies comply, then they have to do the same thing on every other platform too.
Well,
Because it's like, there's no sense in like, okay, we're gonna tell you what everything is on Steam, but we're not gonna do it for PlayStation. We're not gonna do it for Xbox when we know they're gonna do it for everything if they comply with this.
well, that's a problem for them. Steam has nothing to do with that. Like, again, this is Steam's platform. Their influence doesn't reach beyond Steam.
Yeah.
If Sony and Xbox comply with that, you know, if their player bases have brains, maybe they'll talk about it and be like, well, wait a minute, how come? That's their problem. Because, like, this isn't the first time this has happened. Steam has implemented things that have been pro-consumer for years that console companies just ignored because, you know, console players don't have standards.
I tell you one thing. I think I talked to you about it, man. That Steam refund is a lifesaver. Oh my God. There are some terrible games that either don't work or just like horrible.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that.
Yeah, because, like, you know, Steam has a reputation. They're not perfect. There's plenty of stuff wrong with Steam. But if there's one thing that you got to give them the credit for, is that they have a system that is it's a well-oiled machine. And people rely on Steam so heavily because of how well it's been maintained over the years. Like, Steam has only been getting better. Like, yeah, one of the biggest problems is they got a lot of bloat. There's like a lot of shit shovelware on Steam. There's like a ton. But there are tools you can use with the curator service, you know, Steam reviews, to kind of help, you know, refine your search.
Yeah,
to get what
navigate
you
through
want.
the bullshit.
Yeah. Now, again, there's no such thing as a perfect storefront, but Steam puts in the effort. Everybody else drag their feet or don't care. Like the Epic Game Store, they don't give a fuck. Microsoft, they don't give a fuck. Like, they you know, just like when Cyberpunk came out, they didn't say anything until it was obvious that game just did not work. And meanwhile, everyone's getting all butthurt, but Steam is just like, oh yeah, you can get a refund. If the game don't work, return it in 2 hours. We'll give you your money back. And we've had this policy for years. while the PC guys were over here enjoying it, the console guys were just sitting there shoveling, eating shit nonstop. While we were just like, look, man, if you care about blah 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 so much, maybe you should invest in PC. You know, but you have to care first.
Yeah. So I was working for a game store at the time that Cyberpunk shit went down, and it took a while for everybody to get on one page to allow people to bring back their physical copies for actual refunds in the stores. So it took a minute.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, you got all this pushback from people who, like, the higher ups, because they just wanted money. And it's like, that's low down. You know, Steam is a lot of things, but you know, they're transparent for them. They're transparent where it matters. And it's just
Yeah.
like you're not getting that from Sony. You're not getting that from Microsoft. You're just getting a bunch of fucking, what do you call it? PR speak. Phil Spencer come out every other day saying some dumb shit. and it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Sony, same thing. And it's at this point, this is why PC has grown so much in the past 10 years, because it's like, dude, getting the console, why? You don't have any control. They can kick you off whenever they feel like it. And then there's the woke aspect layered on top of that. And then Steam, privately owned, 330 people dominating the market by doing nothing. It's like there's a meme that goes around every so often whenever another company fucks up, and someone posts like, once again, Steam wins by doing nothing. What's their secret? It's just like,
I'm on board, man. Steam has been nothing but good to me. I know it's a multi-million-dollar company, but the policies that they have in place, like you said, it's pro gamer. I almost feel like that, like the people at Steam, like it seems like they are gamers and they think about things from a gamer perspective and come out with policies that, reflect that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Lord David, he is a gamer through and through. Like if you look at, I have to send you some of the stuff he talks about when it comes to gaming, but I think he was talking about the Source engine, where I don't know if it was about the Source engine, but he was talking about how games are supposed to be fun. He doesn't like realism in games because he's like, realism, like I wake up and do that every day. Realism is washing your clothes, cleaning your ass. But in video games, I want to be able to do something stupid like use a gravity gun to throw a saw at somebody and cut them in half. I can't do that in real life. So, like, realism is kind of the thing that's being sold, and that kind of ties into the whole Unreal Engine 5 thing, because, like, they're pushing realism so hard that it's coming at a cost of performance. Because realism, to simulate reality, is very expensive. And it requires a ton of resources, and in the end, it's just not worth it because the performance takes a hit. I'd rather have baked lighting than Unreal Engine's Lumen engine, where it's like, oh, real light rays bounce off of this and bounce off of that, and it looks so real. And it's like, or I could just go outside. I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. I can't deny how good is like certain games look, but if it's gonna come at the cost of performance, I don't want it. Windblown looks amazing because they crafted that world. Like it looks like a video game. It doesn't look realistic. I don't need to run around with a real, like, Forspoken. When it came out, ran like dog shit, but it looks so pretty. Oh man, look at all these rocks. Grand Theft Auto 5. Wow, looks so real. You're in Afghanistan in the deserts. Real time clouds and weather effects. It's like, what's the most interesting thing about Metal Gear Solid? Giant robots running around, maybe launching nukes. Time paradox. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we covered, like, I did have another thing for Obsidian and Elon, but I'm gonna save that for the next one because I don't really care. Not right now. Because Elon, that's my boy. I don't really know what the beef is between them yet. The director at Obsidian says some anti-white shit, which is just more woke shit. That's, you gotta shoot them in the foot. But Obsidian is just another one of those developers who had high regard in the past, but became gay, and so now they're gonna.
I've heard that name, Obsidian. What do they make, or what have they made?
I think the new game is called Avowed, but the game that put them on the map, I think, was Fallout New Vegas.
Okay, I heard a little bit about that Avowed. A little bit.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll save that for the next show because I don't really know And then we're coming up on 2 hours. I did say 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a little bit to catch up on last minute. That dragged Herbert out of bed for this one.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm alive.
He made it. I don't want to do the show by myself. That's why I've been posting, because our work schedule's been conflicting to where we couldn't do it on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
But hopefully in the future, we can keep it a little bit more consistently. In the meantime, I'm still figuring out Caden Live, and the editing I did for my older videos wasn't really that nuanced. So it looks like the transition to Caden Live shouldn't be too difficult. I was trying to get
Live. What is that?
It's a video editor, a free open source video editor. Because I can't use Sony Vegas anymore because I got rid of the computer that could run it.
Oh no, that's a shame. No.
Yeah, not really. Caden Live is like the video I posted earlier today. I edited in there, and it turned out pretty good. So I was like, okay, I just got to relearn some things, how to do it in this one versus Vegas, but I'll be all right.
Maybe I can run Sony Vegas.
$100 because you got to buy it. So I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it. I got it, but if I see another Windows install, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit, dude. I can't stand looking at Windows.
I got you, man. I got you.
But Linux Master Race, Endeavor OS, we endeavor. And see you in 2 years, sir. Because Windows gonna do something stupid. You gonna be like, I can't do anything on this computer. I was able to, but they did.
I won't be able to do anything on Linux.
You're just gonna have to learn.
No, I don't want to learn. I want to plug something up, and I want it to work immediately.
All right, guy with computer.
Oh, man.
Like I said, man, like it's only gonna get harder the stupider they make it. They're gonna force you to upgrade to Windows 11. I think later next year, October next year. Yeah. That Windows 10 install like on.
So wait, so once they say, "Hey, you got to upgrade," I have to upgrade.
Yeah, because
I can't just stick with 10.
Yeah, you can stick with it. You won't get any security updates, which is kind of the backbone of your OS. But hey, you know what you're doing, right?
It's time to go back to the PlayStation 4.
Man.
PlayStation 4 never changes.
When they turn off the store and all your games stop working. If you got a PlayStation 5, get a PS5. They shut that down a year after that. You know what is forever? PC.
PlayStation 4 is forever. Actually, you know what's funny? I've been thinking about upgrading my PS4 to a PS4 Pro.
That's not a bad idea, actually. It's like $200.
Man, I'm telling you. There's nothing on PS5 that I want.
Yeah, I do think the PS4 is worth buying for now, unless they change something. But I think that's the last PlayStation console worth buying is PlayStation 4. That's unless more of the games come to PC. In which case, because I think the only other game I'd like to come to PC is The Last Guardian. That and Gravity Rush.
I thought The Last Guardian was on PC.
Nope. That jump stuck in PlayStation limbo.
Dang.
Because if it was on PC, I would have heard about it. Because that's just like what's his name? Gravity Rush.
Yeah.
I would have heard it because those games were fantastic, especially Gravity Rush.
I always wanted to play Gravity Rush, but I feel like it's gonna make me sick playing it.
You might get a case of vertigo, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I played it on the Vita, so it was a lot easier to manage. I haven't played it on like a you know, I did play Gravity Rush 2, but it was kind of, I guess since I played the first one, I was kind of used to it. It didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I can't, like, for me, I get vertigo when I play VR. I can't do VR. It's too much.
I get it when I play first person shooters. So I can't the motion sickness just gets me. If I play like anything first person shooter for too long.
Yeah. But that game is definitely gonna have a little bit of that.
See, I told her the PS5 only has PS4 games. I'm telling you. So listen, like I said, I used to work for a gaming store, and I've had so many opportunities to get the PS5. I had the opportunity to get it when it first came out before anybody, and I was like, PS4 has everything. It's like,
Everything I need.
Why?
Yeah. Well, like I had a PS4, but I traded that sucker in because I just wasn't playing it. And now that the PS4 emulators, full speed ahead, I'm like, I just do that.
So what are the games that we're gonna play? What are the fighting games we're gonna play, and what are the co-op games we're gonna play?
I want to play Tekken 6 and Tag 2. I want to play those Tekkens.
I kind of been wanting to play Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. And I want to try that game that you were talking about too.
Windblown?
Yeah.
I think you're going to like Windblown.
I was talking to Chris about it earlier. Windblown and Raven's Watch. Yeah,
dude. Those are probably my top games right now. Windblown is giving me Gunfire Reborn feels, and I love Gunfire. Like, because Gunfire.
Furry games. I don't play them furry games, Josh.
Not yet. Not yet, you know.
You might be right.
I'll tell you, man, Gunfire, that jump took me back to the Dreamcast with Fur Fighters. I'm like, bro, if Fur Fighters was around, it would be Gunfire Reborn.
Bro, there's so many furry games on Steam.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hey, Steam is free. You can make whatever you want. If it's good, it'll sell.
Like, dang, what is this cool game with this fox on a motorcycle killing stuff?
Yeah. But yeah, dude, like I said, Windblown has definitely got my number. Like, the music in that game is so good. It's very fast and responsive. And dude, it looks like a Dreamcast game. That's what gets me the most. Like, to me, game, like the Dreamcast was like peak like game aesthetic. Because a lot of those games were bright, vibrant, and they just looked cool. Like somebody crafted this crazy world where only this shit happens. People probably gonna meme on me to hell for this, but Pin Triicelon, I love that shit.
What the heck is that? Pin Triicelon. Triicelon. I got the feeling it's about to be some bullshit.
Oh, yeah, because it is. I'm gonna show you this game, and you're gonna be like, Josh. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, boy, this shit right here. Woo!
I got a feeling some trash about to pop up.
Yeah, ain't no trash, Herbert. It's my childhood.
Here comes the Pin Triicelon.
What the hell? That boy getting it.
This is my shit, man. This is like before Crash Team Racing. got me.
They had a nerve to book Stroke and Release on there.
It's some Club Penguin instead of Torch. Hold on. Press A to stroke. This is my shit, man.
Hey, you really do it, don't you?
I'm not gonna lie, it looked fun.
It is, dude. Like, it's kind of like
Hey,
you gotta slide, run, and swim.
those sound effects are going ham.
I know, man.
What is that squeaking?
It's they step, sir.
Hey, you really do it, don't you?
The dude playing sucks. Trash as hell. Yeah, and
Hey,
you
yo,
playing. But
I'm not gonna lie, it look kind of hype though.
dude, you should have saw like back in the day when I was hosting gaming things at my yeah, but like back in the day when I was not streaming, but I was hosting like game events in my apartment.
Yeah.
And I had this game, like I had it on the Dreamcast and everything. And I think a bunch of folks were over there. I did the same thing. I was like, man, y'all ain't playing shit until we play some Pin Tri-Isolon. And they were like, what the fuck is Pin Tri-Isolon? Broke out that Dreamcast, 4 controllers, and man, trying to survive.
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, that didn't look hype though.
Oh yeah, dude. That wasn't the full stage though. They only played part of it. Like that's my favorite stage, favorite music. But that shit drops. The beat drops really hard at the end of that stage.
Oh man, I am dying over here. They're squeaking took me up.
Stroking
and releasing and squeaking of the feet and oh man.
Yeah, man, that's one of those games most people don't know what that is, man. That's
I've never seen that in my life.
But that's why I'm saying, like, there are certain games like, that you'll know when somebody's real about that game and shit when they tell you some shit like, yeah, if you were really active and you don't even know about it. I was like, dude, man, Pin was that was the shit. The Dreamcast is my favorite console ever made. Hold on. It's the best console. I had the black Sega Sports Edition. Got dust on it. But
so I'm torn.
It's my baby.
I'm torn between the Dreamcast and the PS2. The PS2 was insane as far as like gaming.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh yeah. Cell Damage 2. I love Cell Damage, man. Cell Damage was the shit. No, you probably did. You didn't have an Xbox, did you? No,
I didn't. Well, my stepfather had one, but I don't know if I played Cell Damage.
Dude, Cell Damage was kind of like Pin Tri-Isolon now that I think about it. It was like random as hell. I'm gonna try to. It had some good music too, and it had one of the best fucking intros I've ever seen in the game.
I feel like it's gonna be some bullshit too. I'm cracking up over here, man. These games are crazy.
Yeah, this is when games were games, man. Yeah. They were like games. Yeah, Billy Donuts, man. Cell Damage was that's another good one.
Tonight, on a very special episode of Cell Damage, will Violet.
Hold on. I thought okay. There we go.
Tonight, on a very special episode of Cell Damage, will Violet finally learn of the disease that's slowly killing her? Will Cinder finally become house-trained?
It looks cool.
Way too fast and blow up everything in sight like we do every week. And don't forget to call in during the show and buy crap that you'll never need. Not available in all states. Cell damage. Tonight at 8.
That's really creative, man.
Yeah.
I call well done. Back to you, Mom.
Hope you learned your lesson.
I love that shit.
Is there a doctor in the house?
I'm Foulmouth.
Master!
So what is this game? Is this like Twisted Metal or something?
Yeah, you can it's like Twisted Metal, like it's arena racer where you just run around and kill all the other
I know you
players.
what am I?
Okay, that's cool. I haven't really seen another game outside of Twisted Metal that was like this.
Yeah, because you know the Xbox was
Club captain.
the Xbox, wasn't really that well received. So again, this game I would say falls under privileged knowledge. If you knew about things like Cell Damage or what's the other one that me and my brothers played a lot? Fusion Frenzy. Like those were very specific games that you didn't know about unless you had an Xbox.
Yeah, I didn't know about Fusion Frenzy until I played with you guys.
Yeah, it's an excellent party game. Very competitive. Really, it's kind of like a Mario Party, except it's a little more competitive. It's not that random. You have to be good. But,
yeah, that makes me reminisce on the games I used to play growing up, man. But see, my games are a little bit older. I had to go back to NES and Sega and Super Nintendo. I had to go way back. Sega Saturn.
Oh yeah.
And remember they used to have this game called Scud. Scud was like so fun to me, but it was weird. Scud, the disposable assassin.
You gonna pull it up?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. You said, was it on the Sega Saturn? You said?
Yeah, it was on the Sega Saturn.
Yep, I have not heard of that one. Yeah, like that's the era of gaming I wanted to go back to, because I feel like all of these games fall under like indie tier. So like there were no AAA games back on the 6th gen. There was just games that were different, games that were unique. Like they took a real chance, like a Breakdown. Back when Namco was pretty comfortable trying things out, where you played as Lee Chao Long.
What?
It wasn't actually Lee, but he had some of his moves back then. I made a topic of discussion for it back when I wanted to be a game YouTuber before I got fucking red pilled in the gaming sense. Like, yeah, man, I can't be no fucking game tuber. I gotta sit here and pretend like this shit's not on fire. Nah, I'm good. I tried. It was all Spyro's fault. I had the Spyro outfit on and everything. I was like, today we're talking about the new Spyro game. Oh yeah. Game came out, was fucked up. I was like, man, y'all done fucked it up. Now I gotta be all mean and negative and shit.
You said mean and negative and shit.
Yeah, Spyro was cool until they hit me with the whole, you got to download the second or third game. I was like, why? You have to do that before, but here we are.
Man, some of the
Sorry if that's too loud.
some of the quality for some of these Scud videos are terrible. I ain't gonna worry about it.
I'll look it up later. Do you want to go ahead and wrap up? We are pushing 2 hours 20.
Yeah, man. Shoot, we kind of ran off on a tangent there, reminiscing.
Yeah, man, good old days. The good old days we shall bring back because we're gonna make gaming niche again.
Yeah, man. Well, I enjoyed being on the show. Shoot, I scraped myself out of bed, and it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me say it's always worth it. Always worth it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming through, Herb. The show ain't the same without you. And everybody, thanks for watching. Billy Donuts, Torchy, Gaseous Clay, Unspoiled Yesterday. You know, guys, thank you for commenting. Gator Milk, Sipper Supreme. Appreciate you guys. And still gonna be trying to do this weekly until we can synchronize our work schedules.
Yeah, my schedule should be freeing up soon. So also want to do some podcasting on my channel too when I can get everything together and figure out how I want everything to be. So look forward to that too.
Yeah, man. Got any questions? I'll help you set up. I'm gonna get you out here, man. Make some content, do some collaborations.
Yeah, man. I'm finna go hard. Like in like the next couple of months, I'm finna go real hard.
Good. That's what I would like to hear. Play some Windblown, some Tekken 7, 6, 5, 4, not 8.
We gotta play 8, man. We gotta participate in the madness.
Man, I'm just shit on it the whole time.
You know you want to play with Raina.
I mean, I do. Like, she's a lot of fun, but it's like it's kind of like the thing with Street Fighter 6. Like, I played Makoto, but the game is so trash. I don't even want to play the game. Dang. Like, if I'm gonna play 6, she has to be in there, and she has to not play like doo-doo water. so Raina's a lot of fun, but the game is just a chore.
So I said with Street Fighter 6, I would have to see Alex or Cody show up and then not be dog water.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I could.
Because in Street Fighter 5, Cody was so terrible. Actually, Cody and Alex were terrible. They were both in that game.
The game was terrible.
Yeah.
And like 6 is better, but it's still not good. To me, it plays like a poor man's Street Fighter 4, which is kind of offensive. They have the similar problem like that Tekken 8 has, where everyone plays the same because of the system mechanics. Everyone's drive rushing forever, and you have to. That's the only viable.
Your system is strong.
Yeah, it's not like a Street Fighter 4 where everyone had FADC, but some characters it worked better than it did for others. Its only purpose was to extend combos, extend pressure, sorta, depending on who you were, or you didn't use it at all because it was trash. It really depended on how good your character's dash was. But everyone in Street Fighter 6, dash covers the screen, and it's just like that's how you get in. You don't get in by looking for an opening, exposing whatever you just drive rush.
Yeah.
It's like it's just boring. It's very boring. Just like Tekken 8. Everyone does their fucking heat.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Yep, fucking communism. Everybody's the same. No one's unique. It's like, yeah, I like Raina, but like last time I streamed it, I was trying to play without Drive Rush. Like, if they update that game and remove Drive Rush, I'd probably appreciate it more. Because it's too much. It's like we got Drive Rush and Rage. It's like, yeah.
Like, have you tried Lydia? Is Lydia kind of like Tekken 7 Lydia?
Nope. I played with her for a little bit, but it's, by that point, I was just like, the game is a chore. I feel like I'm doing the dishes playing that game.
what Arslan Ash say? He said something about the game is depressing him.
Yeah, because like I understand him 100%. Because like when he says the game is depressing, people they undermine his argument because he's like struggling. Like he's not complaining because he's losing. He's complaining because he's being forced to play in a way that he doesn't want to. Like player choice has been stripped away.
Mm.
You're not allowed to be defensive. Now you have to run and gun like it's some Call of Duty arena shooter. And it's like, you, I, you're taking all of my hard work and telling me that now that's bad.
Yeah.
Like I've been studying for a test, and now it's time to take the test, and nothing I studied for is on the test. And when I complain about that, that's a legitimate grievance. You're looking at me like I'm like, oh, you're just mad you're not the top in the class anymore. Like none of y'all are the top. No one's good at this game.
Arslan Ash is still damn near the best in the world.
Yeah, like
it's like they talking like they gonna run up on Arslan Ash and beat him. Like no,
and it's because of the way this game is the way it is, where these people think like this.
it's
like,
giving them confidence, man. They're actually there's a lot of people beating people they shouldn't be beating.
Yeah,
If this was like Tekken 7, they wouldn't be lasting long.
It's normies, and they win it by some of the most gayest ways possible, and they think that means they're good. It's like, dude, you can get wiped out the exact same way you wiping me out. And if anything, the chances of me beating you are still higher because I have a brain. I still understand Tekken enough to, figure it out. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I agree. It's definitely forcing you. It's artificially forcing you to play. Like I was saying earlier, if you stand there, they're gonna chip you to death, or they're gonna guard break you. If you don't move, then you're gonna get caught with something. And then the hitboxes are so huge to where newer players aren't whiffing as much. And older players can't use backdash to make them whiff.
yeah.
So it's like I said, they're trying to shrink the gap between the higher players and the lower players. And to some degree, they've succeeded. But
At the
at the
cost
same time, yeah, I was about to say at the same time, the game is like bad because of it.
Yeah, the same people that was like happy about that shit, now all of a sudden they're frustrated. It's like, oh,
yeah,
where all that bravado go when you were like able to beat somebody you couldn't beat before? You getting blown up by another scrub? like there are no winners. No one's winning. It's like this guy I watched named Sinful Pants. Like he's a Heihachi player. He's been playing Heihachi forever. It's really good, and it's nice to see him, playing. Of course, all the clips he showed of him just fucking people up, and like that's where the entertainment is for me. But if I watch these actual matches, it's just like, I don't like the meta. I just rather see combos versus like watching whole fights like I did in Tekken 7.
Yeah. Yeah, the nuance and the intelligence behind playing Tekken has kind of been stripped down. And I think that's what a lot of upper or higher level players or intermediate players they kind of don't like. Like you said, it's just going in. You go in, you go ham. You lose like the recoverable health, or you can get your health back. So they encourage you to swing more so you can get your health back.
Yeah, it's a mess. Like Tekken, yeah, it was largely defensive, but players made their characters offensive or aggressive.
Yeah.
But now that everyone's forced to play the same way, it's like, well, you can't really reverse something like that. You can't play defensive in an offensive game. That's like trying to play defensive in fucking Dragon Ball Spark and Zero.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta run from me.
Yeah. Like KOF, it's still KOF, but like if you sit still in that game, you'll get killed. But at the same time, you still have the option to play defensive if you want to.
Yeah, you have good defensive options, which is what makes that game interesting to watch. It's like, man, yeah, it looks like hieroglyphics to me, but seeing people take advantage because it looked like it'd be like a one-sided thing until somebody turn it around. It's like, damn, that's pretty. You got to be pretty
Yeah,
good to
like
do that.
like KOF, man. It's like the gap between the characters is not that huge, and so you'll be seeing all types of characters. And then people be talking about low tiers. Low tiers ain't no good. And then the low tier being up in the grand finals. Or I tell you one better. I remember there was one grand final. You probably don't know these players, but there was grand finals between Dark Angel and my favorite KO player, Lokoff. And Lokoff was winning, right? And Dark Angel, he's like probably one of the best in the world. He was like, all right, let me pick this low tier that do 50-50s on you, and let's see what you do. And he was running a circus, man. He came back so quick. You know, Angel or Angel, right?
Hill, yeah.
Angel. Yeah, he picked her and he started tearing that man up. And she's supposed to be low tier.
Yeah, I like her. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with her. Like, I see what people mean. She's very unorthodox, but it's like one of those. You have to have a lot of foresight with that character when you do stuff, which is really cool. Like, rarely have I seen a character built like that.
Yeah, and people say she low tier, but bullshit.
Tier whores, they only say someone's high tier because of how much access they have. Like, Angel has access, but you also have to have a brain. It's just like Makoto. Like, yeah, she's low tier because she doesn't have a wake up that hits on the ground.
Yeah.
But she's the only character with an exclusive anti-air that you can't touch her if you're above her.
Yeah.
So everybody else, you can make them whiff their Shoryuken. You try to hop over her and her fist is up your ass.
Yeah.
No matter where you went.
And there are bad matchups, but you can win with everybody in that game. That's the beauty of it. If you understand the system, and you understand your character, and you can do a lot of stuff in that game.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the pure fighting games that are left. They put some modern stuff into it, but for the most part, it's still pure. And I kind of wonder when they bring Virtual Fighter back if it's going to be pure.
Probably not. Because they mentioned Virtual Fighter 6 is going to have some meters and specials. And Kagemaru going to be shooting fireballs.
They're going to be Ryu Hirabusa.
Yep.
He's Kamehameha Blast.
And fucking Gene. He going to have some electric. He going to be a devil Gene.
Devil Gene. That's a good one.
Yep. It's like, oh, boy.
Oh, but I'm dreading. I'm dreading. Well, not dreading. But I don't know.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. That's a good way to put it. Because like I said, there's not that many pure fighters left.
Nope. Like they're all in the past. And like I was telling my younger brother Jeremy, because like he's kind of like, black pilled on fighting games. He was like, yeah, man. I felt like maybe I'm just growing out of it. I'm like, no, you're not. You just got to wait for the normies to leave. And then when they leave, they'll start making fighting games for refined palates again instead of for all these fucking scrubs who complain because they're not winning. So that'll be when fighting games get good. I don't know if it'll be Street Fighter or Tekken, but it'll be something. And it's got to be niche. Because fighting games were good when the most people who were into them was like no more than 7,000 across every game.
And then you have to, back in the day, in order for you to get good, you have to be in arcades. You have to pay money. Not everything that was in arcades was at home back then. It's like You had no choice but to go to the arcades and fight people for money, put your money up.
Yep, it's a different world now. Like it's too accessible. Like you would think because more people are playing, people will get better, but that's thrown off because the game has changed so that more people could get in. It's like, yeah, like I said, man, gatekeeping ironically makes things better. Keeps those with refined taste dictate the direction the game goes. When you let everybody in there, they'll
I feel
complain.
like I don't know if I agree with that fully. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if I agree with it fully because I feel like out of those people, there are certain people who graduate to a certain level, you know, and you never know who that's gonna be.
Well, you have to be somebody who has what did Mr. Incredible say? It was like he was arguing with his wife. It was a scene where Mr. Incredible didn't like that they were having a graduation for Dash moving from the third grade to the fourth grade. And she was like, "It's a ceremony." He's like, "It's not a ceremony. He's moving from the fourth grade to the fifth grade." And obviously he was coming from he was bitter because, they ended the hero program and now he had to be a regular person, but he's not a regular person. He is incredible. And he wanted to be recognized for what he genuinely was. So he didn't like it that they were, making a big deal out of Dash effectively just moving up a grade. Like that wasn't anything spectacular. But the point is that he didn't like that everyone is getting recognition for being generic, because Dash is an exceptional person, but he's not moving up because of that. He's moving up for being normal.
Yeah,
And that's nothing to celebrate. And like when it comes to fighting games, like that's why I say, like, yeah, I think gatekeeping should be a thing, because now the only way you're going to get in is if you're truly exceptional. And exceptional players like the game enough to become exceptional.
Yeah, and for me, I think we need to keep the door open to find out who is exceptional and who isn't. Because whoever comes through that gate, they're gonna get tested in one way or another.
That's the way.
And if they don't stand, then they probably gonna just walk back out on their own.
Yeah, and that's gatekeeping, because it's like the thing is like, for example, take me. You were my gatekeeper. Because when I was playing Tekken 6 and I was beating all my friends before I met you, I was like, oh man, because at first I hated the game because I didn't understand it. And it wasn't because I ran into someone good back then. I was just like, yeah, this game was whatever. But when Tekken 6 came out, I was playing it. I was beating Tyrell and Tyrone and Chris. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at this game. Playing like straight dog shit. Ran into you. Score was like, what, 98-2? And I was like, I'm done. I was ready to walk away. And what did you say?
I said, hey, well, I can teach you how to play it.
Yeah, because you saw something that I didn't. He was like, he don't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's going for. All he needs is just a little direction. And then lo and behold, we became one of the best Alyssas in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, to me, that's gatekeeping. I could have just been like Gash's Play said here, trash moves itself ultimately. I was ready to go. Did the same thing in Street Fighter 4. I was like, what's the cross-up? Hit you in the back of the head, so you got to block in the opposite direction.
Well, see,
he's in front of me.
Well, well, see, here's the thing. Like, I don't look at it as gatekeeping because I extended the handout to you to learn more. I said, hey, do you want to learn more? You said yes. Like for instance, I've stuck my hand out to I stuck my hand out to Tyrell. Yeah. And Tyrell was like, nope, I don't want to learn it. I'm good enough.
Successfully gate kept. Like, you see,
he plays, he plays, but if other certain people want to get to a certain level or a higher level, and if you don't want to do that, then that's fine. But I'm not gonna keep you from doing anything.
Well, it's not about keeping somebody from playing the game because, like, what you saw when we played was like there was a level of competency. I just didn't have direction. That's different because you're like, hey, look, once I teach you how to play this, I think you'd make a good player, and
Yeah,
I learned. Now it'd be different if I was like when I first played because it's like when I was playing you, I wasn't like mashing the controller and like, oh man, it's so cheap, man. Like you could tell that I was going for things. I just didn't understand what I was going for. And the two times that I won decisively.
Mhm.
But it was just like, hey, he just doesn't know the rules of Tekken, but he does know what he's doing. Like he's not mashing. He's using this move, but he doesn't know what plus and negative means. He's using this move, but he doesn't know that I could sidestep it. Or he knows that I'm sidestepping and he's trying to do something to get back and to hit me. He just doesn't know what his homing move is. There are rules. But like with Dead or Alive, I understood all that shit because a lot of that stuff wasn't, highlighted. Like sidestepping isn't a thing in Dead or Alive.
Mm.
But the rules of spacing and feints, all that stuff is still there. I just don't know the Tekken variation, and you taught it to me. So that's why I say, like, I think you are a proper gatekeeper. Because if I was playing like an idiot, just mashing, you probably wouldn't have asked me. Because I just would have been like picking all. Because I had my favorite character. I was playing Elisa from the beginning, and then when I get my ass beat, I defaulted to Eddie. Because I needed something.
Yeah.
And when that didn't work, I was like, man, this game sucks. It's like, nah, you just don't know what you're doing. But I see potential in you, young Anakin.
Yeah.
So
You were definitely like one of the best that I seen. But at the same time, it's like um you took the opportunity to learn. Like, I said, just extended my hand and you said, hey, I want to learn more. And shoot, you've been running and kicking ass in these games ever since.
yeah. And like to me, that's somebody who makes the changes to accommodate Tekken instead of wanting Tekken to accommodate them.
Yeah.
I didn't come into Tekken saying this needs to play like Dead or Alive. Like I just did like
It's funny, like a lot of new players be wanting that. Like if they have a fighting game that they're good at, like, man, this need to play like this, or this need to play like WWE 2K.
Yeah, and you notice that's a lot of what we got now. Because they lowered the bar to where these guys think they can walk up in here, and now that heat wipes their ass for them, they think they're good. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and now we can't argue with them because they literally changed the game. And
Yeah, it's made for them. It's made for them.
yeah, Super Smash Bros. Tekken Edition.
Yeah.
And now look at Arslan, dumbass over here thinking he's upset because the game doesn't play like Tekken. Lol.
Yeah, it's like shit. We knew it wasn't gonna play like Tekken before even release. I know I did. Once I saw all that shit, I was like, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yep. And that's just,
Well, because I'm a Tekken player, there's something in me that still want to play it. But
it's the faith in, because like I said, there's a good Tekken game under all that shit. It does exist.
Yeah, it's like it does a lot of things that I've always wanted to see in Tekken, like the Tekken intros, the way the graphics look, the stages, the flashiness, the lines, some of the lines and dialogue between the characters. So
yeah, it's like that's because I think that stuff was a token in Tekken 3, if I'm not mistaken, and finally brought back.
but yeah, like a lot of things that Tekken 8 does that's really cool. And I just hate that I hate that I hate it. I hate that I hate it because
Yeah.
I love the series so much.
Well, everything comes to an end eventually. It's just like, Cassius Clay said, once fought this guy in Smash. He had really good offense, made me work at improving my defense. Couldn't beat me after that. It's like, yeah, you change to accommodate the game. If you respect the game and want to actually be a part of the game's legacy, you learn the game. I did it for Street Fighter, did it for Tekken. Yeah, I put up a fight because I'm human. And then once I figured it out, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm the best Makoto in Tennessee, probably. They were talking about me on the
Probably was. I'm not gonna lie, you probably was, dude.
Yeah.
Back then, like it got to a point where I couldn't touch you in that shit. I couldn't, like it was just over. I might as well just hold the fucking controller, Makoto choking me, jacking me up. I was like,
because I remember people, event hubs.
Yeah.
And for a while, people on there were talking about me, and I didn't know it until I showed up because no one knew my name at the time. It was someone that recorded the fight at Hastings at the time. Because remember they were doing setups up there every so often.
Yeah.
And man, because after the Makoto thing clicked for me, I had mastered the Karakusa. I was choking the hell out of folks.
I remember exactly when it happened, dude. Like I was like, hold on, man, something's different. Something's different now.
I was like, oh, I figured it out because I was getting my ass toe up with her. But man, when I figured it out, like, okay, I'm baiting all the Shoryukens, and the minute you block, I'm grabbing your ass, and you're gonna want to block because I'm coming. Yeah. Doing that fake, making people. And I think I remember I was fighting. I forgot his name, but he played Harong in Tekken.
Gene? Was it Gene?
Yeah, I think so. But he played Dudley in Street Fighter. And Terrell was like commentating the fight. He's like, all right, now when the game starts, you gonna come up and grab me. Don't let her grab. Don't let all I do is already in the air.
Well, yeah, those were the times, man. Those were the times.
Because like folks were trying to help people fight me because it's like, all right, this is what he's gonna do.
I remember that. You know what? I slick remember that.
Yeah.
And you was beating people so bad.
Yeah, everybody that came up to me, I was choking and axe kicking and punching them in the nuts.
And see, that goes back to kind of what we were talking about. Like the love of the game is more than just, pixels and, code and whatever. It's like these are memories and bonds, man, that's made over a time. And like that stuff was so funny. It was such a good time.
Yeah, dude, it
was such a good time.
Yeah, I think Street Fighter 4 is where I met Cassius Clay. We were playing that a lot on the old 360.
Oh snap!
And playing forever. And he was like, man, your Makoto is a bitch, man. I was like, yeah,
I remember.
Bye, bitch.
I remember I was getting jacked up too.
Give me your lunch money.
All right, put in Tekken. Turn this shit out.
Get tired of getting
my ass whooped. Put it in Tekken.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a jig. Go fuck you up. I remember for a while I was afraid of throws. You had a friend who played Marduk, and like when we played, I kept picking stages without walls, and he was just like, and after like 3 fights, he sent you a message. He was like, "Yo, where the wall stages at?" I was like, "Fuck." I was hoping he wouldn't notice.
Oh yeah.
He's
talking about J Rail.
Yeah, yeah. And then this dude started throwing me. I could not break throws to save my life. I was like, Here's my wall, walls and throws. There's nothing I can do.
Yes, then Marduk's so damn cheap. He's been cheap for years.
Yeah. Man, good times, man.
Yeah. All right, what time is it?
It's 7:30.
We rambled on for almost another hour, reminiscing about stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, Gaseous Clay, our rivalry in Street Fighter. We still kind of play every now and again. But man, good times, man. I hold those memories to such high esteem. Like they're what made me. It's like, man, I loved all that, dude. I had a friend, man. His name was Aninu. I haven't heard from him in forever, but played Tekken with him. He played Julia. It was, man, fucking good times, man.
Yeah, man. We need to go back and I still want to play some more Tekken 7, man. I still think your Armor King be cheating.
Man, I'll tell you that. I like Tekken 7 now because, like, Armor King, I don't know what it was, but he's the one that clicked for me in that game.
I know. That motherfucker be cheating. Him and Lydia be cheating.
Yep.
But Armor King more than anything, man. That little sidestep punch getting out the way.
That should be so slow, but you get all the way out the way. Jim be coming, and then run a kick, and nobody home. The punch, and then get a shoulder right after that.
Bro, them attacks be hitting all behind his head. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, because I was sidestep and then do it. That's what I was sidestep the direction the move would go.
Hey, some of that shit he was turning around. I don't remember what happened, but I know it's a couple times I sidestepped some shit or got around him and he turned around and fucking hit my ass. He be cheating.
Yeah.
That character is cheating.
Just didn't know the matchup.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man, I'm down for that. I'd definitely rather play some Tekken 7 over fucking 8.
Yeah, you still remember how to play?
Oh, dude, I'll never forget. I spent too many hours perfecting my bullshit.
I got to go back and remember how to play that shit.
Yeah, I
mean, it's still ingrained in me to a certain degree, but yeah, I gotta remember.
Yeah, I still remember all my cheap setups. Like some of them I gotta do, but I remember one of them was the setup. If I'm already in the air with that backflip. If you get up, you do even more damage. And then so I got it to where people knew I was gonna do it, so I would just pick them up. He's like, God damn it! You do that headbutt +3. Better not press nothing.
Yeah, it's like
you press something. Now you must die.
But yeah, man, when you free to play?
All week. I'm only busy on the weekend. This one I have to do the overnight thing and my second job and my third job. All that shit stack up on the weekend. But Monday through Thursday, free as a bird.
All right, I'm going to hit you up when you're free.
All right. Yeah, just let me know. I'm down for some Tekken. I think I still have Tekken 7 installed, so I haven't taken it out. I have deleted Tekken 8, but I haven't deleted Tekken 7.
I still have the Tekken 8 demo. got both my characters in it, so I don't need shit else.
Yeah. Can't play online, though, so
it don't matter. All right, well, I guess is that it?
Yep, I guess 3 hours is the actual time we in.
Just two old men rambling about reminiscing about the past.
Everybody in here old. Like Billy Donuts mentioned cell damage. Like, oh yeah, he got to be 30. Torshi, Gases, Clay. Yeah, we all up here in age, but it's all good. But yeah, go ahead and shut the stream down. Tomorrow I'm going to be playing some more Dragon Age and Windblown. Because that
Squeezing
is,
some Tekken 7 in there too.
yeah, I mean, if you want to, just let me know. We can get some gaming going. But till next time, guys, I am your Immortal Afro Josh. This is my good friend and co-host H3 The Game. Be sure to follow him on Twitch and YouTube at H3 The Game, where he recently had a stream. He streamed some old school Shinobi 3, over 100 views.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, look at him go. That old school Shinobi.
Yeah. I can't believe people were watching that shit too.
Yeah, it's funny. Shitty controller missing the jumps.
Bam.
But yeah, check that out. And same time tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier. Gonna play some games. Till next time, folks, I, your Immortal Afro Josh, you are watching Immortal Afro Gaming, where we will make gaming niche again. Till next time, folks, thank you. Have a good night. And yeah, take it easy. So I find where's my outro? I gotta get used to finding this shit. There we go. All right. Peace.